Hey,
How's everyone doing today?
How y'all doing? What's going
I'm
on?
super excited. I'm super duper excited.
I am just excited that I have a wonderful drink in my hand.
I know, right? I'm getting mine, you know.
So I just want you all to know that my person made a really good, really good drink. And it's very orangey infused
and cranberry.
It's cranberry and it's really good.
Right, and you know, I'm not one of these girls. You know, I don't be like cranberry juice cocktail. I was like, no, girl, this is 100% cranberry juice.
Well, listen, look, whatever's on sale.
Because cranberry juice is like mostly just sugar and water. But I feel like if that's the case, I could just have sugar and water.
Whatever's on sale. Cranberry juice cocktail, cranberry juice light, cranberry drink.
No. Now, I'm never.
Now I know the difference, but I'm just saying.
Right,
I'm not limiting my
carpet has piled. It's so high I can't put it down on the floor. All right, so we'll just put it. Yeah, I don't fuck with that light cranberry juice. You know, it's like no.
I mean, you know,
I decline.
In a pinch, you do whatever you want to do.
I got a big hole right here, so be convenient for these.
Okay, well, all right.
So, good evening, everyone.
Hey,
this is episode 107 of the BGKH Show with Dominion
and Epic.
Now, what's that stand for? What's the B?
So, from what I understand, the B is for the blacks.
The blacks, okay.
The black.
And the G?
The G is for, honey, the gays, honey.
Gays.
The gays, honey. G-E-I-G-H. Gays, honey.
The K?
The K is for the kinky.
Yes,
so, what that means is, see that thing right there, over in the corner over there?
That right over there.
That cross
right
there?
Yeah,
that's
right
for somebody kink, right? You strap people on that. That's
or better yet, right. Shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That shirt
this is right. This is a diagram of a jock, just in case we know which coming in, but there's a least.
Yes.
So, and then all of that stands for the H, which means that we are all human.
Yes. So, I still remember when we were like coming up with the show. I was like, what am I gonna call the show? And I was like, child. It's like everything. BGKH. We're black, gay, kinky, and human. There we go.
Child, and there it is.
So boom.
Boom and boom.
You know, it's funny how like that synergy just came up because you know we were sitting there like when we sat with like a pad, we was like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? You know, it is the best things just sort of happen and come together. You know, we didn't spend like 5-10 hours trying to come up with it. We didn't have to do no focus groups or no foolishness like that.
These focus groups. Did you say kink? Yes, we said kink.
We said kink.
We said kink. We said kinky.
Orange peach cranberry, white peach cranberry. Yeah, that's good, but it's still mostly just sugar and water. So, you know.
But you know,
Mufasa posted something the other day talking about one has to go, and it was like Mountain Dew, Pepsi, water, orange juice, apple juice, coffee, tea, Kool-Aid. And I feel like one other
Kool-Aid, because I said to myself, I was like, was it like a Sunny Delight or something?
Something, but whatever it was, I was like, the level of disrespect.
Kool-Aid was one of mine that had to go.
And cranberry. Oh, Kool-Aid had to go. Kool-Aid and Pepsi had to go for me.
It had to go. But that Mountain Dew was going to stay right there.
Oh, of course. Mountain Dew got me through college.
Baby, listen, I would drink a Mountain Dew and roll and go right to sleep. Oh, I love the taste of it, honey. And I get on my kicks where I gotta have it.
I fucking love Mountain Dew.
Yeah. So, but somebody else posted something too. It was a couple other something had to go, and I just found them interesting. They caught my attention, but I can't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in that one I remember saying that Kool-Aid and something else had to go, but Kool-Aid was one of the ones that had to go. So
I'm definitely. I mean, Kool-Aid is fine, but I mean, I'm not a fan.
Listen,
of Kool-Aid like that.
But in my teenage years, yes, God, I would be sitting there saying, "Oh no, I'm a Kool-Aid aficionado." Like I will make up some Kool-Aid you ain't never had, and I'll be putting all my little bases in there, which is lemon, then mix it with grape. Then I would take the red, because red ain't really cherry, it's just red. I'm just
right. Red is the flavor. I mean, there we go.
And so, but now as an adult, I'm like, Everclear, Lynx, you know what?
That's some old college shit. You get an old 5-gallon.
I ain't even mad at you because I've had my moments with it. But baby, you was trying to take the girls out.
To throw a bunch of watermelon and pineapple and fruit cocktail and some just the Kool-Aid packages, or Listen, this was college, so this was the Wiley.
Weilers.
Yes.
Weilers.
Weilers had some delicious flavors.
Because Kool-Aid got a little expensive.
Right.
She got a little expensive.
Right.
Kool-Aid used to be like $4 or like $10 $4.
No, Kool-Aid was $4 for $1, but Weilers was $10 for $1.
Yeah, so I was all on that.
Yeah, we used to fuck some Weilers.
I was like,
for sure. Mm-hmm. And then they had the clear flavors too.
So I remember them, but I also remember one that changed colors when it got the different temperatures.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't know if that was Weilers or that was Kool-Aid, but anyway. So she was good. Good. But anyway, enough of all that. How was your week?
The week was fine. You know, I've been getting some pretty good response on resumes and stuff. So hopefully we'll have something in the next week because, you know, we're coming up to crunch time. So, you know, there will be... because, you know, initially... I was freaking the fuck out. Most people would never know that I'm really freaking the fuck out because I'm not one of those, we're all going to die. But, you know, in my mind, I was like, girl, because, you know, 26 weeks of unemployment is coming up to an end. But there are 2 programs
that will help you to
beyond that. Mm-hmm. One goes for another 13 weeks, and then there's one that goes after that. So I'm less freaked out about that now than I was this time last week. Okay. Because this is why I hate being dependent on the government for anything. Because they don't tell you when they give you the notice the exact date the 26 weeks is up. Because I can't remember if I started it on the 1st of April or whatever. Right. And my money was not in my account last Wednesday. So I was like, it's over. And I don't have no money. I had like $200. So I was like, I got $200 in my name. That is all I have in this whole fucking world. It was there on Thursday, but I was like, but why? What the fuck?
I don't think you have a motherfucking heart attack, bitches.
I mean, you know, I just think about, there's no legitimate, this isn't, you know, you could say 30, 40 years ago when they had to literally write checks that, maybe it took a while, but this is all electronic. Yeah. So why wasn't my money in my account on Wednesday like it's supposed to be?
Listen.
Girl, fuck a holiday. I get what you're saying. I'm not mad at you, Lynx.
But listen,
but I'm saying this is
automatically set up.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
It's automatically set up.
You know what? When I was what was this? This was in 2002. I worked for this company. The same shit around Labor Day. Girl, we supposed to get paid like every other Friday or something, and I got up on Friday, and you know, first thing I do is
listen. Every day they like, did my coin arrive? Oh, my coin!
My coin isn't there, and I got to work ready to go, and I was the only one. Other was like, bitch,
right?
Where the fuck is my money? And then the vice president, who makes like $275,000 a year, and this is 2002. 270, not the 275 is less, is not a lot now, but in 2002, that was a hell of a lot of money. And then he was like, oh, it'll be in your account Monday or Tuesday. And like this white woman I worked with, she was like, Monday or Tuesday? She was like, I have bills that are automatically set up to come out of this account
Friday
or
Saturday.
She was like, oh, well, I'll have, we'll cover any bounce check fees or whatever. But it wasn't even that, because that would have been fine. But it was his blase fucking attitude about it. It's like, oh, it's no problem. You just get paid a couple of days later.
But listen, while you're here, can you do this project I gave you?
Right, because I was like, no, bitch. No, I have worked these last 2 weeks under the anticipation that my money was going to come. My money isn't here. So, bitch, I sat there. I was like, girl, I was my girl Joby. I was like, bitch, I'm sitting here all day
until I get
and then at about noon, I was like, girl, you ready to go to lunch? She was like, oh, I got work to do. I was like, bitch, did you get paid?
Right, you didn't get no pay.
You didn't get no pay. So, girl, whatever fuck need to happen, it happened as soon as our paycheck come. Right. Bitch, they did whatever they needed to do and rush that shit through. So by 3:00, that money was in my account. And the same thing with
not
the nigradacity. Exactly. But the same thing with state of Virginia. I'm just like, girl, this isn't like you gotta physically do anything. The same button you gotta push when it's a 5-day work week, is the same button you gotta push when it's a 4-day work week.
Yep.
And this is even different. Like you know, it's not we got a
deposit or
you ain't got to check no timesheet or nothing. You, as long as you on unemployment, you get that same motherfucking amount every week. And so I was just like, bro, because that shit freaked me the fuck out. Because I was like, well, girl, I was thinking I had, at least 3 more weeks. So that's why, like what we were talking about before, that's why certain things have been held in abeyance. Because I was like, well, I need to have a little cushion.
I get it.
In case some shit go and let some shit go there. That's why I'm like, girl, when people are like, hey, you want to go somewhere? I'm like, girl, no, because this will be just my luck. I get out there and get on the road and be like, crash.
No, bitch is known for. Listen, they always say rob and Peter pay Paul. Bitch, let me tell you my experience is. I rob Peter to pay Paul, but then what I do is I have a ransom note for Mary, and then Mary sends out her ransom note to Job, and then when she sends it out to Job, then Job hits up Larry because there's a sex tape that's involved, and then there's some extortion money. So listen, I got this like that rob Peter pay Paul. Listen, I'm on a different level. I'm doing the rob Peter pay Paul, extort that person for this, that, other. Listen, I got it. I got you. So juggling this shit.
Yeah.
I think back on people getting a financial education.
Yes.
And while my parents were great at financial stuff,
mm-hmm.
having that conversation with them or sitting down and being taught how to do certain things, it just didn't happen. So there are some things that I just picked up, and there's some things that I just had to figure out the hard way. But baby, the hard way that I figured out how to rob Peter to pay Paul and extort that person, now that was some hard shit to figure that shit out. That I got to. Now listen, if y'all need some information about that, then call me. I can walk you through that shit. It ain't the best place to be in, but it can sometimes solve a short-term problem.
What I've always had, I have been lucky. I'm very good at managing several hundred million to billions of dollars.
When it's not mine,
people's
bitch, I'm a balance. Bitch, I
when I worked at ICE.
Yeah.
Listen, so there were 2 programs. I managed one,
mm-hmm.
and 5 other people managed the other program.
Okay.
I had reconciled my budget. Like my boss was like, "Oh, it's okay, it's a couple $100 off." I was like, "No, bitch." I didn't call her a bitch, but I was like, "No, bitch. Here is how every dollar of my program has been spent." And not only how it's been spent, this was what was spent on the appropriation. This is how much has been expensed against those allocations. Because you can get like $50 million, and then you do $48 million in appropriation. So first of all, $2 million is still available off the top. Then of the 10 things that have used those $48 million, here are all of the bills against that. So then this is what we have left. And I had my shit reconciled down to the penny. That's why me and her got tight, because she was like, I'll accept a few $100 off, but what she was really thinking in her mind was like, bitch, I don't understand why you don't have this reconciled down to the penny, because all of this shit is public record. Like other people was like, oh, can I get you that in a couple of days? Well, bitch, she told you 2 weeks ago that she needed this shit.
Listen.
So yeah, I can reconcile billions of dollars, but my own account, my own finances,
child, that's a whole
I know this sounds very bourgeois. I have just earned more money than I've been able to spend.
Listen.
So, but when
that's not my ministry, but listen,
when it comes down to it, I never learned. My father was terrible at managing money. I looked at how little, this was 1980. We bought that house in 77, and my father, he was a veteran. He refinanced our little house in Clinton 8, 9 times. Mortgage was never, the whole ass mortgage on that house was never more than $450. Never. It was like not a huge house.
Right.
It's like maybe 1,300 square feet plus an unfinished basement. Never more than $450,000. It was always behind. Always behind. Electricity. My mother, I remember just listening to my mother, talk to Pepco. And be like, we have young kids in the house. No, I was like 17. We got young kids in the house. Please don't cut the lights off. Because my father was just so terrible at managing money. So it came as no surprise to me that I had to start managing his finances. And that was the shit part about it. My father was making, between his Metro pension and Social Security, my father should have been balling. But I was just like, well, niggas, you just don't pay the mortgage, huh? You just be like, oh, so the mortgage come, and you just be like, well,
just a piece of mail, I'll get to it.
Right, and then I was just like, well, the fuck, and then
not
we were talking about bootleg,
child.
So one of my this is the swilling way. This is the way to do bootleg shit, which is why I don't do bootleg shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do bootleg shit. One of my uncles or one of their little bootleg friends. Shit, my father were right down the street, child, in Southeast DC,
North Philadelphia, West Philadelphia.
Yeah, same shit. North Philadelphia, Gold Place, same shit. Mm-hmm. And I know, without having been there, one of my uncles or their little bootleg ass friends was like, well, you know, if you declare bankruptcy, you ain't got to pay these bills. No, bitch. They consolidate your bills into a single payment, but you still got to make that payment. So when I took over his shit, first of all, I didn't even know, me and my sister didn't even know that he had declared bankruptcy.
Child.
So we found that out, and then found out that this hoe hadn't been paying the motherfucking bankruptcy. I was like, what? But
don't feel bad, because when I took over my mom's, I found out other shit about the two bankruptcies that she filed, as well as the second mortgage that she had taken out on that. Not the second, like she had refinanced it through another mortgage company, and then that mortgage company had been sold to someone else.
Right.
So it was like, I was like, girl. And then we got to a point where through one of ththese finances, she wanted getting all this money back, and then
you had left it up to her. She would have.
The money was gone. She was like, because at one point I saw her little bank statement. I was like, does this say a couple thousands of dollars? Like, I was like, what? I said, okay, girl. So when she called me one day and was like, can you help me out with? I said, help you out with what? Girl, what happened to all that money? Well, I did this and I did. Never mind, girl. Right. Now here I am. I'm at this job where, again, bouncing somebody else's money. I'm doing reconciliation for DC Tag, DC League. Bitch, I was off by 2 cents 1 year. Bitch, it wore me out. And it wasn't from the agency. It was on our side at the institution, because we were shuffling money around. And I was like, bitch, where's this 2 cents? I'm like, I have like this, I can't even remember. It was like 250,000. I was like, where's this 2 cents? What the fuck is it? I read a report after report. I'm like, and when I finally had to put that shit down, like plus or minus 2 cents. But this is on our side and not on their side. And bitch, to this day, it haunts me. I'm like, bitch, where's this 2 cents?
I made my staff stay late because I was like, girl, why are we $400 off? I was like, there's no reason for this. This is millions of dollars. There's no discretionary fund where you could be like, oh, well, we just spent and we don't have no, nothing happens to that money without a whole ass acquisition thing, and no money gets expensed without a whole ass bill that comes in. So there's no reason why this money should be off. And she, the one girl, listen, I am happy that people have kids and shit. But ultimately, I don't give a shit about
like money. That ain't got nothing to do with what we got.
She's like, oh, well, it's 5 o'clock. I was like, girl, you knew this shit was supposed to be right. And we had this whole conversation about it can't be off. And here we are. It's 5 o'clock on September the 27th. We had till September the 30th. To get it done, but September the 30th was on Monday. Yeah, and so here's the thing: we're not going to be waiting until the last minute to do that, because once you do it, I still need to review it, because I am ultimately responsible for the shit. So you can't just be giving me the shit at 4:50 p.m. on September the 30th. I need at least a day, and I would prefer it a week
to look at.
But at least that Friday, so then I could take that shit home on Monday, because I ain't trust that bitch. That she can fuck some shit up. So yeah, girl. Anyway, so just parents and bullshit and stuff. And so with that, and then here with the bankruptcy, they didn't include the mortgage. So not only was he not paying the bankruptcy with that single payment to that, but separately the mortgage. So here I am. I was just like, okay, girl, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna catch up on this, because you don't have nothing to do. You are an old man who sits in the house. You don't go nowhere. You don't do nothing. You don't all of this money that you have. So we're about to do. We're about to catch up this bankruptcy. We're about to pay this bitch off. And then all of a sudden, I started getting these foreclosure notices, and I was like, how can this be foreclosed? Because I paid, all of this back. But what I was seeing as the back mortgage was just some shit. So I paid like that, but there was like a whole year and a half before that that hadn't gotten paid. And so I'm just like,
girl, listen,
it's just
we never.
This is frustrating. And so so I never really learned. Well, I mean, I did. I take that back. I certainly did learn better finance. I'm 10,000% better than my father was at it. We're just in a fucked up situation right now. So I'm trying to give myself the grace.
Absolutely.
Of, you know, I had to pay for a funeral out of pocket. And how did I finance that funeral? By putting it on credit cards. And then life happened and other stuff. And now I am where I am. But I'm going to get out of it. I know that for a fact. I'm going to get out of it. Right. But right now, girl, when my motherfucking check didn't hit on a Wednesday,
couldn't show up.
Because, girl, I was just sitting there like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I was like, well, we won't be eating dinner this Sunday. Because I was just like, well, girl, we're going to eat whatever the fuck is in this house. Because it's like, well, you know. But then I did some research, found out I got at least another 6 to 8 months to do it. So here's what you do. You save up enough money, but you don't file for the follow-on right away, because then in that gap, you can file for food stamps. Because here's what happened. Because when I was unemployed 4 years ago, I was like, well, bitch, I don't have a job. And they was like, oh, well, you qualify for $20 a month. A month in food stamps. $20 a motherfucking
what is this month gonna do with $20 a month?
What is even the skinniest bitch on the planet gonna do with a 20 whole, not a week, not the $20 a week is a lot, but at least $20 a week is $80 a month, and you know, you buy some hamburger meat,
you buy a whole motherfucking lot of motherfucking
and ramen noodles. But with $20 a month, what the fuck was I supposed to do with $20 a month? So I sat on that shit, and I mean, I feel like, because I wasn't unemployed very long, and like 7 months later, it was like, you've got like $90 saved up in this food stamp thing. I was like, okay, girl, I'm gonna spend it or whatever. But I couldn't find the card, so it just lapsed or whatever. And some people were like, you let $90 lapse? I was like, girl, I already had a job. What am I gonna do? But I was just like,
because I did that just recently.
And then, you know, Special K told me that. He was like, what it is that if you apply for food stamps while you're on unemployment, they're going to see that you're getting that unemployment. They're going to count that as income. So you have to, if you want to do it, what you do is file for food stamps first and then file for unemployment. I was like, why should we have to play this motherfucking game? Because if I'm on unemployment, clearly I don't.
They play games with your money, so why not?
Well, yes, that's true. And right, what is me and my baby stomach finna do with $20? Not $20 a week, $20 a month for all of this. All of this.
And first of all, I don't even like ramen noodles, but listen, I would.
I mean, I like a ramen noodle. I ate a ton of ramen noodles in college, but over the years, sometimes it's like a little nostalgia. You know, have a little packet of ramen noodles with some cheese and some steak, and put a little sour cream on it and some hot sauce, and it reminds me of that and the trans woman that lived next door to me that kept trying to hit on me. And it was a lot. It was a lot.
Sure.
But so there's a little nostalgia there. But I mean, I certainly don't want to go back to eating it for 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. Because then when I tell you I ate ramen noodles 3 meals a day, so like it's so funny.
I believe it.
When you're an adult now, and so like with your fraternity brothers and whatever, they were like, "Oh, you rich?" I was like, "No, girl, I am doing okay now, but bitch, I know what it's like to be poor. When I say poor." When I tell you ramen noodles 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and when you wanted to be fancy, you got that piece of steak that was just this side of green, just before that shit turned green.
Yeah, I can listen, baby boy. I can't fucking say. Don't you? I would pay the extra 15 cents to get me some fucking tuna fish. I couldn't fucking do it. And in the Big Bird Giant Eagle, they used to sell the no frills. I don't know if you remember that. But the no frills package in the white with just a black writing that would just say noodle or like ramen noodle or whatever.
No. The shit it would just be like every package of like whole ass chicken in a can, and it would just say chicken,
exactly,
or pork,
exactly,
or beef, and you don't know what the fuck.
You don't know what part it is.
I never ate that shit.
Oh no, I did, because at one particular point I remember my grandmother. God bless my grandmother. I remember my grandmother. She used to keep this pantry downstairs. And it was full of everything, canned goods, and everything else.
Yeah.
And I was at school. And my grandmother said to me, she said, "Well, go on downstairs in the basement, take a bag, and just take whatever you want out the pantry." So I'm down. I'm loaded up. I was like, "Bitch, what?" I'm like, "I'm taking all like canned goods," and she had like extra like packages, like cake mixes and shit, like all this other shit down there that she just wasn't going to use, or she just said take it. And I took this one can. And I was going out the door. She said, "Well, here, take this can of chicken." And I was like, "It's a can of chicken." She said, "Just take it." I was like, "All right, whatever." I took this can. I was clowning on this can of chicken. My cupboard was set up narrowly, so it was an old house, and it was like the door was this large, but the cupboard went over this much extra. One day it was nothing in that motherfucker. I couldn't see, and I was like looking to the left and looking to the right. And I was like, "Dude, that can of chicken, baby." When I tell you, I took that can of chicken out that damn can, and I hit it in that pot,
a whole ass chicken,
and it said, it was like just like cranberry sauce out of a can. That.
So was it like processed chicken?
It was shredded cooked chicken.
Okay, because there's two different kinds. They had the whole. I know what you're talking about. The shape of the can,
it's the shape of the
right. But they also had a one where it's a whole ass chicken.
I didn't have that one.
Yes,
but that one was already shredded.
Well, that's what I've seen. Because I'm again, father's terrible manager of money. We should have never had any of these problems. But looking back, I can sort of picture when one time we had to go to the scratch and dent can store in DC.
Yeah, that ain't.
And my mother was.
She was like, "I am Mike with
she went.
Okay.
But she was not at all happy. And I just remember all of the arguments,
Right, Tyrus and jelly, spam jelly. It was. But listen,
in that jelly,
this bitch right here, although I had no food, I had a cupboard full of motherfucking seasons. When I tell you I fried that motherfucking chicken up and seasoned the shit out of it, god damn it, it was chicken in a can for everybody. I was eating that shit for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and it was in Pittsburgh in a motherfucking snowstorm. So, bitch, my belly was full. I was able to make a turd, and I was warm. Guess what? I was good. So, anyway, we out of memory lane. We won't come out of that.
Yeah,
we won't come out of that. So,
memories.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how was your week?
Listen, my week was good up until the day where it got fucked up, and I'm not even going to talk to you about that. But again, I'm gonna just go ahead and say family. Gotta love them. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Fuck the family.
That's what you're supposed to do. But
listen, I learned a long time ago that just because we share some DNA, that don't mean we got nothing else in common.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm trying to remain calm about it and all this other stuff. And I'll talk about it some other time. I just don't feel like it right now. But my day was good. My week was good. I went to so I don't know if I told you I've been going back to CrossFit because I haven't been inside of a gym regularly for like over 3 years. I go to CrossFit yesterday and baby, they was wearing me out. Bitch, I was going out. When I came home, my motherfucking back was sore. I was so fucking sore trying to drive home that I was in the car like, bitch, do I have to turn right or do I have to turn left?
I've been there.
Bitch, what?
Like your arms just like, and like you turn your whole body because you know.
And right. So the thing is, when you work out, you're not sore the day after. They're the worst sore. It's the second day after. So right now I'm feeling it in my shoulders, but I know tomorrow I'm gonna be pissed. But I go back to the gym tomorrow, so it's like, all right, here we go. I'm to get this shit together. But other than that, the week was good. But that gym was a little funny, but I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
But in any event, it was an okay week, and I had my works with some shit going on, and but whatever. But it was fine. I'm good. I reconnected with somebody that I've been having conversations with, so I'm kind of good with that. So we just gonna keep it at what it is. This conversation. I haven't talked to them in a minute, and it's one of those things. I don't know anybody else, but I have my own issues where it comes to body image listen. It's nobody. It's no one that you know.
Oh, okay.
It's no one that you know. No, okay. It's not them.
Oh,
I
just feel like
see, this is right here. I'm gonna allow you to speak on this. I'm gonna allow you to speak on it. I'm gonna allow you to speak on it right now.
And you just be like, okay, girl, I support you, but to yourself, just be like.
Listen, Tyra, that's why this drink is right here. Because when I came over, I explained to him what happened, and bitch, he poured this cocktail. This cocktail is getting me all the way together.
Listen, I'm always I'm always here for you,
but in any event, as I was saying, we all have our own issues about ourselves and person and family and relationships and all that type of shit. And so it was one of those things where it's like, you ever get that boost in the arm, that shot, like, bitch, you talking to me? Bitch, right. What? And I think everybody has this moment where it's like, bitch, you realize, like, bitch, I'm cute. Like, I got something going on. Like, I'm cute. But when that person hits you up, you're like, oh, bitch, not only am I cute, but bitch, I am the shit. Not the shit, but the shit.
Remember,
don't say no names. Oh, yes.
I had that feeling there,
the
too.
The elevator when you came down, like when I was coming, when you were finished?
You weren't there, this was...
Oh, this was the time I was there, I'm sorry. And the last time I was there.
Oh, no, girl, fuck him.
Okay. Because I was like...
No.
Okay, whatever. Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, so I was like, when he messed me up, I was like, really? Me? And then she turned out to be crazy. Me, exactly, me. Me. But then she turned out to be crazy as cat. But shit, yeah. So and then you just be like...
But that's kind of what I'm thinking now. Like, I'm trying to wonder, I'm like, I hope you're not crazy. Because, like, when it happened the first time a couple years ago, I was kind of like... my spidey sense was going on. I couldn't quite figure it out, but I'm trying to figure it out. But again, just conversation. So we ain't
pretty.
Yeah, they pretty.
Light skin, big booty, big dick. Not that the big dick that's just a joystick, but and talk some nasty. I mean, when I say nasty, I was like, girl, I had to. You think you're kinky, right? Then the girls be like, oh, well, I'm into this. You be like, oh, okay, I'm with it, but this ain't your average, everyday, kinky shit. So you just like, oh, okay, I'm about to step my pussy up to fuck with you. Like, okay, but cool. And then she turned out to be crazy as cat shit.
This one sent me a birthday video out of the blue, and I was like, I'm sitting and I was like, oh, thank you for birthday wishes.
I don't know this person at all.
I said, thank you for the birthday wishes. And I opened the video, and I was like,
impressive.
I said, oh. I said, well, listen. I said, I am here for this PA. I don't have a PA. Oh.
But then what the fuck was it?
It's like big. Oh. I was like, oh.
My.
I was like, Jesus. But anyway.
Like, can I get a fan?
Yeah, I was like, I just got a little excited. Like, I'm not even into, not that I'm yucking it, but sounding is not even my thing. But I was like, bitch, I have a whole set that I think I might want to start using on you, because this is like, my creative juices are flowing. Like, I feel like, I need to flow a little bit. But anyway, so but it's been an okay week. So it's going to end on a good note, and so that's what we're going to do.
All right. Well, speaking of water sports, Kanye West shared a clip of himself urinating on his Grammy Award, dubbing the music industry a modern day slave ship because African Americans don't own their music, and promises to stop releasing songs until he's released from Universal and Sony contracts. Here was what was interesting to me. When I've never really been a fan of Kanye West, even before he was crazy as cat shit. I just didn't care for his music, but I had no strong opinions about him one way or another. I did not know that Kanye West has 21 Grammys.
Listen.
And this hoe was worth $1.3 billion. I did not. I mean, I knew that he had a little coin. So now I understand why. Because I kept thinking about this. I was like, you are being... I look at him as a black man who is in crisis. He's in crisis. And this white woman, his wife, and their family are taking advantage of him. Why? Because he's worth $1.3 billion. I think if he only had not that $30-40 million in the bank is, small change, but if he only had $15-20 million, or if he was like, what's that tall light-skinned dude that she married for a hot second?
Chris Humphries.
Like, if Chris Humphries had given this same energy, well, she did dump his ass.
She dumped him.
But she's only, I feel like, I'm tired of giving people, I've always been one of those people that, give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm tired of giving hoes benefit of the doubt. Because if she really loved him, he would be in a facility somewhere. Because the level of shit that he's, and this doesn't even have to do with the Grammy per se.
Well,
but if she really loved him, she would not allow him to be doing these sorts of things. He would be committed, but his foolishness buys into her brand.
So I don't know. So let me back up. I always thought that she was a gold digger for lack of a better word, or don't excuse the pun. But I also feel like that once they had that first child, I felt like they were in it for a bit. And so
I'm tired of giving people breaks, and so I'm like, well, girl, she had a child. This was just how I felt about. She had children with him to submit.
She could have had kids with Reggie, the football player Reggie.
He was smart enough, and his mother was like,
she could have had kids with Chris. She could have had kids with Ray J. She could have had kids with several people.
So let me tell you. Let me just stop you.
But listen,
because Brandy and Ray J's mother would not have let him marry her, so that was never going to happen.
I get that, but once you have that child is linked. That's the ATM right there.
I did, but that was never going to happen. Chris Humphries figured out that she was in it for that bullshit quickly and dropped her ass.
Reggie, I'm not debating any of that.
Reggie, whatever the fuck his name was, him and his mama, because I think his mama did like her as well. Like her. So that wasn't going to happen. Kanye West don't have no mama or other support system to say this bitch is crazy and using you. Well, sorry for cutting you off.
No,
I just had to.
So that was just my opinion on their relationship.
Though this is beautiful. This is glowing off of your skin. And I just want to mention to everyone that these cocktails that we're having are taking in effect. So there we go. That's why we're talking super fast, but you love it. So keep going.
Yeah. But anyway, I kind of felt like
that's why I got this handkerchief.
But you having a moment?
I'm having hot flashes.
But I still feel like, believe it or not, in some weird way, I feel like whether they started out in that type of relationship, the gold digging relationship, I feel like somewhere along the line it's clicked for her, and I think they're in it. I don't know why I feel that way. That's just how I feel, and I very well could be wrong.
I'm not seeing it.
So. But in any event,
well, Tyra says she tried to get him committed. He still deemed healthy enough that would have to volunteer to go.
Right.
I even if I accept that, I still feel like,
and she did. They did try to get.
I still feel like there are things that they could do to help manage his madness more, and it doesn't because it plays into their brand. And I'm not giving them any benefit of the doubt. But anyway, so he said that he wasn't going to make any more music until he's released from his Universal and Sony contracts. The interesting thing, what this brought up to me was
he wanted to have the masters.
He wanted to have the masters.
Yes.
Which is similar to what Prince wanted.
Prince, as well as Michael Jackson, as well as Ray Charles.
But like a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
They even did it. They do it to Taylor Swift. Yeah. So it's not even just like a black thing. It's like when you were young and people invest in you and they want something for their investment. And when you're new to the game, that little $2 million check that they cut you seems cute. But then when you look at the $50 million they made off of your top 10 albums, you think of this is keep it on Taylor Swift. Think of all of the money that people have made off of her, and I'm sure she's not at all doing well. But if she actually owned, because apparently Scooter Braun, who also fucks with Justin Bieber and a bunch of other people, think of how much more she would have if she owned her masters.
Yes.
Lil Richard went through the same thing. Lots of people, even black people with other black artists. I mean, a lot of people sued Berry Gordy to get their masters back or get access to, whatever. So, and it was so funny that on P-Valley, they was trying to sign Lil Murda, that, the little shiesty light-skinned dude. He wasn't light-skinned. The shiesty dude was trying to sign him to a 360 deal. Yeah. Was basically, that's the same shit that got TLC fucked up. Was that 360 deal, and you think you cute, because look at Lil Murda. If someone cut him a check for $250,000, he think he doing cute. But then it's never just that. They deduct the money for whatever the cost for the production of that video that goes with Mississippi Pride, which I downloaded, by the way.
M-I, crooked letter I, humpback I,
Mississippi Pride. Yeah, so my bottom line to this is that I don't trust nothing that the Kardashians do, and I'm not saying they're gold diggers because they're white. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that these gold digging white people who have consistently profited off of black culture are doing the same thing here.
Yeah. So, I
mean, it tells you everything that you need to know that her own mama profited off of her doing a sex tape. I mean, can you even fathom? But first of all, your mother finding out that you did a fucking sex tape and then be like, okay, girl, well, here's how we're going to
some point,
publicize this.
At some point, she had to watch it.
Of course.
So it's like, okay, all right.
I mean, it's one thing, even if you know that your mother's even if you know that your daughter's like a porn star or has done porn, I feel like even if you're sex positive, even if you're like the most super sex positive thing, it's like, I don't want to see my daughter getting gutted and pissed on camera, even if you're completely fine with it. It's like, that's just some shit that I don't want to see. It's like, I know that my parents had sex, but do I want to see a fucking sex tape?
Listen, I saw my stepfather when his ass jumped out of that bed one night when the alarm went off, and bitch, I almost passed out. I was like, bitch. Ooh.
Put your eye out on
it. Bitch. Oh my God. Oof.
You thought about it for like 5 minutes.
I'm sitting, and then the thing, I was like, well, damn, Mom. Okay. Well, all right. Let's go you. Bitch, okay. But anyway.
Yeah, so anything else that you wanted to?
No, so Kanye was on the list for one of the stunt queens of the week, so that was one of them.
I can't keep putting him on the stunt queen because I've gone from dismissing him.
The fact that you videotaped yourself, you posted on Twitter.
That is a stunt.
This is a stunt queen move, so that's why I'm putting it on here.
For me, it's a part of a larger mental health.
And I don't disagree with you. Yeah. But I'm still putting you on the list.
Yeah. So I get that. I will buy that. So
Michelle Bachmann,
here we go, stunt queen.
The second nomination for stunt queen, Michelle Bachmann. She said she's a former U.S. Congressman, Michelle Bachmann, and she turned to transphobic scare tactics in an attempt to sully Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. She said, now she appeared on televangelist Kenneth Copeland's The Victory Channel. Bachmann warned that the Biden victory in November will lead to a communist revolution led by transgender people, members of Black Lives Matter, and the anti-fascist demonstrators. So listen, let me just stop you right here. That was all I needed to read to put her on the list of stunt queen.
Oh, bitch, she's been a stunt queen for her and her gay ass husband.
So yeah, and then she goes on and talks about some other stuff, talking about how Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement is not a new movement. She tries to draw this connection between Antifa and communism and the Black Lives Matter, and I was like, girl, you. She's on our list. Just that one. Also, and here's the thing. For me also, even if you are saying that these people are trying to take over the world and take over the United States and to bring communism to the United States, done by these transgender people, these Black Lives Matter people. So what's the problem? Because I don't understand what the problem is.
Listen, transgender Black Marxist sounds like a movie I want to watch.
Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Like, what the problem is, Michelle? Because I mean, it's either transgender Black Marxists against narcissistic orange Doritos. I don't understand it. Like that's
right. All right. So between the two of them, who was our winner?
I think this might be our first joint winning segment. So,
yeah, I agree.
So both y'all, stunt queens of the week.
All right, so next up, Andrew Gillum says he is bisexual, and I was like,
so
what?
I had to place this one in the I call shenanigans because I'll let you know why I say that, but go ahead.
A whole me, was like, oh, girl.
Now, he was, just so you know, Andrew, for those of you that may not know, Andrew Gillum is the former mayor of Tallahassee, Florida.
Yes.
In March, he was found inebriated in a Florida motel room with two men, one of whom was identified as a male escort who was being treated for a drug overdose. But go ahead.
Based on that alone, alone, because in this homophobic, patriarchal, cis man based society, dudes generally do not end up in motel rooms, passed out, naked, with a person who is known to be an escort. Now, a gay escort.
Right.
Now, the fact that he has a drug problem or alcoholism, that's a thing. That's fine. I get all of that. I hope he gets that. But the moment I found out that the people who he was in the hotel with, I was like, oh, he's clearly at least bisexual.
Now,
at least.
And let me be clear, because baby boy, you mentioned up there he might be bi. Let's not go to bi erasure. This is not about bi erasure. For me, what this is this is an explanation for your actions and not dealing with whatever the actual issue is.
Yeah, because
this is like the smoke and mirrors to sidestep this issue. That's how I'm viewing.
I was thinking about this.
We got a lot. No, I'm just saying we got a lot of stories.
But I was thinking about this in context of people saying, "Oh, you know," some people saying there's no such thing as bi. For me, there's most certainly a thing as bi. What I think, if we really get down to the essence of it, what I think particularly a lot of gay men have a problem with is people. Now, men, let's talk about men, who say that they're bi only when they're with other gays.
Yes.
Now, if everybody know that you're bi, like if your wife know that you're bi, or, excuse me, sorry. If your wife knew that you were bi beforehand, because for me, it's not about being bi, it's about who you're committed to, because you can be bi but still marry a woman, because just like anybody else, it's like you can be bi because I don't give a fuck who you fucked before you met me, but while you with me, you ain't fucking nobody else. So that's the issue.
Well,
so if you're going to say someone you can be bi and still 100% be in a relationship with a woman, because if you're in a monogamous relationship with a woman, it doesn't matter who you use to fuck. That's their business.
Right.
But the problem that I have, and I think other gay men have, again, is dudes who say, "Oh, I'm bi." It is not that I never see you with a woman. You ain't got to prove nothing. You don't have to prove nothing to me. You don't have to prove you don't have to touch a titty to prove to me that you're heterosexual or bisexual. But if no one else in your life who is heterosexual or the other women in your life, we're not talking about your family, but other women that you're intimate with or your circle or whatever, if you're not bisexual to anybody but your gay friends, then you're probably not bisexual.
And it's kind of funny to me that people always talk
about you are, and you just haven't come out, you're not encouraged or something. And I feel what a lot of people feel like now, I'm putting it on other people because I've never had it before. But what I've seen is that gay men feel hurt because you're like, okay, girl, I accept that you're bisexual, but then when shit comes down to it, you will throw the gays under the bus in favor of being perceived as a heterosexual.
So for me, it got to shenanigans when those people that you always see that are hanging out with the gays that don't ever date the opposite sex.
Yeah.
But you didn't say gay. I mean, you didn't say bisexual. And I'm like, I don't understand that. And
apparently this girl was known to frequent the parties in South Florida. So this wasn't, I feel like I'm going to and tippy pause. Like, no, girl, let's be clear. That happened in the midst of the South Florida white party.
Yes.
So
for me, it became shenanigans when his wife, R.J. Gillum, told the interviewer that she viewed sexuality as something that exists on a spectrum, and she said all that she cared about is what's between us and what agreement we make. So for me, when you just said what agreement we make.
I mean, again, I honestly don't personally care that he is
I'm not
bisexual.
I'm not that.
I'm not invested
I'm not that
in
invested.
his his own personal bisexuality. And if he has an open, I mean, we're in the kink community, so if you've got an open relationship and you and your wife have said that you all have whatever kind of fucking relationship you have, that's fine, and you don't owe me a personal explanation about it.
Right. I agree.
What I'm having a problem with is not about him in particular. I'm talking about the general concept of dudes saying they are bisexual when they get caught fucking a dude.
That's what that's where I am.
Or get caught in a compromising position with a person who does not identify as a man. Or I'm taking it back, because if
the person doesn't identify as what their biology states.
No, no. As long as he was caught in a person who wasn't identifying as a woman, and who wasn't proved to be a cisgender woman. Because then it would have just been, whatever.
Okay, well.
So that's my issue. I'm like, I knew what the issue is.
I'm sure it was.
And I just feel, I get where you're going with the shenanigans part, because it was like, if it really is a relationship, if it truly is a compact that you and your wife have, then you didn't need to say this at all.
This is why I call shenanigans.
Or, I mean, I guess you maybe did, because if you had said, I'm not attracted to dudes at all, because then every fag in the woods that you ever fucked or sucked, dick you sucked or whatever, So, I mean, I get why he did it. So, again, my discussion or my argument points are not about him in particular. It's about the larger issue of bisexuality and what that means. And if you only claim bisexuality when you're with your gay friends or in a gay situation,
But you owned it. But okay.
Well, then that's all I was. Listen, I knew a girl that was like, he was always like, oh, I'm bisexual. I was like, we have gone out many a times, and I have never seen you even be like, oh, look, like. Listen, I've hung out with plenty of straight dudes. Like you, I've never seen you be like, well, damn, she got a nice ass. Or, I mean, you do the same thing for dudes. So I'm not justifying the objectification of women, but I'm saying, if you're truly bisexual, then I feel like if every dude that walks by, you're like,
we have spent 97 minutes on this topic.
I know, right? All right, so let's move on. All right, I'm sorry. All right. I feel like I'll write about it.
Okay, I see that. All right, because that'll be a whole other topic.
Yeah.
So post season 3, it's targeted to October to resume shooting in New York.
Yeah.
While the situation remains fluid, a member of the Pose crew is getting tested for COVID-19 this week in anticipation of the show starting to film next month. This is what a source was telling Variety. Now, season 3 was halted in March due to the coronavirus, and one of the India Moore said she wasn't shocked, and she knew it was happening when production was paused. It was just a bittersweet moment for her. Now, production also on a couple other films have begun with Disney films such as Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, Blackish, A Million Little Things, a couple other things. But the Disney studios are shooting stuff, so we'll see how that goes. This season, also, Billy Porter's supposed to be directing an episode for the season. We don't know which one yet, but again, be on the lookout, because they're starting to do filming again, or sometime in October.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
I am too, because I was really looking forward to spending my summer watching it and being in the throes of Pose. But
that and Wonder Woman and
we not talk about that because they keep pushing that shit back. But
I know, right?
I digress.
Listen, I'm not paying for Mulan. I ain't paying for none of that shit. But when Wonder Woman comes out,
I will best
believe.
But the thing is, they're trying to push that back so they can actually make it happen in the theater. That's the problem. They don't want to. They want to try to make as much money as they possibly can off of it by releasing it in the theater. And little did they know that people will pay for this shit because it's a good movie. It's one of the most anticipated movies of the summer, and they need to go ahead and pay and start.
Yeah, it's not gonna flop like Mulan did, because Mulan apparently made almost nothing. I mean, relatively.
Anyway,
transsexual Satanist anarchist wins GOP primary with campaign slogan "Fuck the police."
Now, this was originally someone that was listed as a stunt queen possibility for the week, and she might still fall in that particular category. But we already voted that there were two, but I feel like this is at least an honorable mention. In a surprising win, Aria DiMezzo has won the GOP primary race in Cheshire County, New Hampshire. DiMezzo describes herself as a transsexual Satanist anarchist and ran with the campaign slogan, "Fuck the police."
At first, I thought this was a stunt because most trans people would not describe themselves as transsexual. So I thought, but then I was just like, okay, girl.
Yeah, and as I read through more, I was like, okay, all right. But now,
let's be clear, it is a stunt.
Well, yes, it's a stunt. But I feel like there's some sincerity here. But there's some sticking to the man type of situation in here too. But but let me say this. So as the backlash to her win builds, she's castigating voters for picking her in the first place without doing any research about the candidates they were voting for, and that's the stick it to your face thing. She originally celebrated her win, telling Free Keene that it is with great joy that I received this nomination from the Republicans of Cheshire County, who in an era of Donald Trump showed their tolerance and dedication to the principles of small government by nominating the trans anarchic high priestess of the Reformed Satanic Church to be sheriff. Now, listen, that's a lot. And yeah. So you would expect her to have some backlash. And she did, because shortly after the news broke on Fox that she had won, her car was vandalized. The perps had slashed the tires on the car, and it was a convertible, so they slashed the cloth top as well. They also drew a giant penis on the side of the car and wrote "fag" inside of the graffiti. So DiMezzo says that it was that her candidacy was a pointed attack on partisanship and the two-party system that forces voters to pick a political party over qualified candidates, which is another one of those in-your-face moments.
Yeah.
So, and she said that now that she said more than 4,000 people went into the voting booth on September 8th, and they all filled in a circle by her name, despite knowing absolutely nothing about the person they were nominating to the most powerful law enforcement position in the county. Listen, kind of on the stunt queen, but then kind of not. But then it's a little stick it to the man type of situation. Well,
I feel like we need to go back to this bisexuality.
She's an honorable mention. No, we can write about that. A lot of gay. So Sean says a lot of gay men in particular struggle with it because of how often bisexual men are quick to throw gays under the bus. Dominion touched on that some. I think it also has a lot to do with internalized homophobia, though. I know plenty of gay men who fear being left for a woman, just like women fear being left for a man. A lot of folks think bi is a cop-out for folks who aren't ready to be out as gay. That's one argument. And that's
I think that applies to the ones who, again, are only bisexual when they're with other gays. Like, if I meet you and, like, all of our friends, male and female or whatever, know that you're bi, and again, not that you got to wear a big fucking sign that says you're bi, but if you're bisexual when I meet you, but we go and hang out with your frat brothers or the girls that you went to high school with or your whatever, and they all assume that you're straight and it's just one of your boys, then that's the dude that I have a problem. So again,
that's a whole other conversation.
I feel like I have to write about that.
And Sean, you may want to comment on that when the column is written. Actually, when Dominion writes, because I feel it's coming in his spirit.
Oh yeah, it's in my spirit. It's in my spirit. But thank you, Sean LaShawn, for tuning in.
Yes.
We really do appreciate the comment. And again, anybody who listen, if you are saying that you are bi, I accept that you are.
Let me be clear. I don't want anybody to take it away from the show that I or the show or
me,
have something against bisexual men or
no,
women.
Not at all.
I don't at all. But in this particular situation, it just there's no feel for it. I know some genuinely
sticks in my craw.
Yeah, I know there's some genuinely bisexual people that I like. This week it's like, oh, you're with this person. Oh, next week, oh, you're with that person. Now, we're not even talking about the whore part, because they're going from person to person and fucking whoever they want to fuck, which I'm not judging at all because, listen, I've been known to dabble in the whoredism just a little bit. I mean, I'm just saying, it is what it is. I am what I am. House and ever. All I'm saying is, it becomes convenient, and that's where I have a problem with those people that claim it. But again, as far as you being bisexual, listen, girl, live your best life. Guy, live your best life. Go on. Like I'm here for it. I'll support you in any way you need me to.
It's a complex issue.
Yeah, and so I get it. So, but
maybe we should, we'll consider that for like a teach or something. Would be better.
Yeah,
like
we could do it.
I feel like it'd be better like a conversation with drinks and
It could be a
cheese and
it could be a forum that we just actually have. Yes, we were, Mike. We were talking about.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, but we moved on. I feel like we.
But that's what
Epic pointed out. Ooh, it's 9:00.
We spent a lot of time on there. But we'll come back to that. But anyway, in a later show or in a column on Dominion's opinion or whatever that may be, we'll come back to that.
So, black-owned line of bulletproof vests for adults and children sees 400% increase in sales. So, Thick Skin, a black-owned line of fashionable bulletproof vests, has seen their sales jump as concerns continue to grow about Black people's protection from police shootings and other random acts of violence. So, Michael Tyree, who was a police officer in the city of Atlanta for 9 years, is the CEO of Thick Skin. He says he started the business to give innocent people a safe way to peacefully protect themselves.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you, Sean. Those vests are ugly as shit, for one. And two, it's not even going to give you the protection that you think it is because if the fucking police pull you over and pull you out of the car and you got a bulletproof vest, they will just kick you in the fucking skull.
I am not disagreeing with you, but I will say this. I would be willing to wear one. And while they are not necessarily stylish, I don't give a fuck what it looks like. I'm putting the bitch on because
but how is that? I mean, it's not even going to provide you.
If it gives me that extra inch of security between a bullet coming to me, I'll take that. I'm fine with that.
I hear what you're saying.
So that's all that I'm saying.
I can't think of a situation, with a Negro being killed recently, where having a bulletproof vest would have prevented him from being killed.
That is correct. Howsoever, you have the young man that got shot in the back 7 times, which could have been a non-paralyzing issue. Again, we don't know. But all I'm saying is, this is worth mentioning. And so for those of you that are interested in protecting yourself or others or however you may want to feel about that.
So even if it was effective, so what, I'm supposed to fucking wear a bulletproof vest? I mean, yes, I get it. So security. So there's this thing called security theater. Security theater there's policy around it. Like a lot of the shit that TSA does and all that shit, it's security theater designed to make the public feel safer. So the vest might make you feel safer, but it don't work for me because I'm like, well, girl, that's really not going to solve the problem. What's really going to solve the problem is changes in policing and abolishing the police and policies and blah, blah, blah. But okay, so good for that.
But anyway, so if you're interested, they have their own website, thickskin.com, and you can figure that out.
THYKSKYNN.com.
Okay. So y'all can figure that out.
I mean, I get the THYK, but why the extra N in skin? Okay, fine, whatever. Cardi B looks so chic in her first Balenciaga. I know, it's so shady. It's so shady.
So listen, Cardi B is the new face of Balenciaga.
Yes.
She made a splash across the pond as she announced her campaign with the luxury brand. She was in a shot where she had a black bob to complement the long, dark evening gown that she wears while relaxing on a bright green lawn encircled by yellow children's toys, likely those of her daughter possibly. But listen, I'm not mad at you, Cardi. She's the new face of Balenciaga. The bitch is doing it, and I'm not even mad at her. So go ahead on, Cardi. Get your coin. Do whatever you got to do. But also what I want to mention is Cardi's name has been coming up a lot this week, and there's stories on here.
She's filed for divorce.
She filed for divorce from Offset, which people are giving her.
Sean said, actually, actually he's just a little bitter that they don't have an extra small.
And Sean, to be clear, your ass don't need an extra small. You need an extra small.
Listen, we're size shaming here.
No, that's not a size. I'm just saying I want him to feel comfortable in that. But that's a whole other story. Because again, it's like, listen, Sean is the damn little. First of all, you have a waist that is like, don't. Bye, Sean. I love you, but I hate you at the same time. So go on.
I got this shirt from
that is Burley Shirts.
Burley Shirts.
Burley Shirts.
Yeah, burleyshirts.com. I would say, we have to stop and pause. And he gained weight. So now
where's Sean?
Right. Where's Sean? Now he's got a 23-inch waist. You know, you fat fuck. No shade. But yes, he gained weight, so now he's fat. So okay, right. Mm-hmm. But no, I was going to say that I probably got this shirt either at MAL or IML, and we learned day before. Was it yesterday? Or day before yesterday?
Oh yeah, it was.
It was day before yesterday.
Yeah,
that MAL 2021 has officially been canceled, which, from a policy standpoint, is good because, you know, I feel, you know, we had this conversation before. It was like, you know, why keep building up the girls' false hope? You know, people need to understand now that we're in a fucking pandemic. Because, you know, the girls are out partying and bullshit and having big fun with the wretched. You know, I see the girls in Atlanta.
Fine.
You know, and this is just the black kids.
No.
I mean, this is the gay. It's not even just the gays. I mean, everybody is out, you know, acting like, you know, everything is cool. You know, we all cool, and people need to be reminded that, bitch, we are still in a fucking pandemic.
Absolutely.
We are still supposed to be working from home. We still supposed to be under lockdown. You know, you still supposed to be leaving your house for essential shit. You know, and all of that. And you know, so I appreciate the Centaurs for making that decision from that perspective, right? But this would have been my 22nd. ML. Bitch, I'm only 4 months older than you, so let's start there.
Keyword.
Let's start there. Older. Second, I have been to every ML since 2000. I have not missed a single ML since 2000. And as I'm sure, I think ML is 30 some years old. I'm sure there are people, non-centaurs, who have been to every single ML. And it's, you know, so many people think, oh, you know, it's just about all the fucking and the sex and, you know, the whatever. And
which is a lot. Let's
be clear.
And
it is a lot.
And, you know, there are rumors.
Shenanigans.
And it's alleged that people have participated in stuff. And it's alleged that, you know, things have happened and all that stuff. And
right. Allegedly, you know, the girls got caught in the elevator or in the stairwell. You know, allegedly, you know, shit got stuck in people and they almost had to go to the hospital. You know, allegedly,
people got caught by upstairs in different rooms.
Right. You know, this is all alleged. But, you know, for me, as much as it was about that, it was 10 times more about seeing
and the fun,
seeing people that you don't get to see every year, or even if you do see, it's just a beautiful and wonderful event. And not being too
people look forward to Christmas and say it's the most wonderful time of the year.
MAL is the most wonderful time of the year.
And babe, listen, we were having that conversation about whether you should stay in a hotel or everything. Baby, let me tell you something. There's nothing like staying on site because you get to do everything.
For the first 10 years.
The shenanigans happens in
between times.
When shit's going on. I have so much fun thinking about the conversations that I had. Listen, I'm going to call Jay Phoenix out. That is my boo. I laugh and joke with him. But, bitch, the time that we spent in that motherfucking MAL in the hallway sitting down kikiing, baby, I live for it. I live for it.
Last year, when I had, when that motherfucking, you know, we're going to change names, so that motherfucking Boat Bonics gave me that fucking vape pen with the, I guess it was sativa or whatever the fuck it was, and my feet was hurting because I had been on my feet all day between the gear show and then leather cocktails, and my feet was just throbbing. He was like, "Here, girl, take it." And I was like,
bitch, he took the longest inhale. And I was like, bitch, you ready to choke? What the fuck is going on?
I was like,
okay.
And I was good for like 3 hours. He was like, "You are feeling good." I was like, "Bitch, I feel wonderful."
And listen, baby, when the shenanigans started, when we had that conversation when you got locked out the door.
No, I did not get locked out of anything. Someone, maybe it was you, came to me and said that they had knocked the handle off the door.
Oh no, that was me. Right. You got knocked out, bitch. Bitch, listen, this is why I fucked with him. Bitch, he fucked up. He got just a little buzz. Y'all don't even notice it, but bitch, I noticed it. Bitch, just a little buzz. But yes, bitch, that was me that brought that handle to you.
So there were two things that happened. First, because all of the rooms are in my name, so I got like a 5,000 keys, and I didn't have the right key. So
wait. Who's your wax lady, Tyra? Put that in there. Put that in there. I'm sorry to
talk about that, but so I was standing in my doorway, and I wasn't paying attention, and I was high. I will admit, I was high as a kite, super high, like Superman high.
But you were standing there
like Wonder Woman,
Tammy. Is she the one that sells? I mean, is she the one that does the sales that help us get the room? Is that Tammy? Is that her name? Mm-hmm. Tammy.
But anyway, so
I gotta think about that.
I was lucky I had on decent clothes because I had to go all the way down to the lobby and explain the situation while high. That I'm in room 885 or 585 or whatever the fuck the room number is, and I left my key in the room. And so what I need you to do is come back upstairs with me, because normally if you leave, if you get locked out of
Asian Tammy.
Yeah, I don't know an Asian Tammy, but she may know us. And
wait.
An Asian Tammy. I don't know no Asian named Tammy.
Wait. She waxes our MAL friends. I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm just talking about the person. Do we go to the same manicure and pedicure place?
She does waxes for our MAL, but I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't know who this person is.
I have a visual in my head, and I remember. Oh shit! It'll come to me. It'll come to me, Tam. Okay, yeah. But anyway. But yeah.
Yes, Michael K. Will, because Michael gave me this fabulous bracelet. And I was just joking, like when he gave it to me, that I gotta show it to you upstairs. He gave me this fabulous bracelet because I was like, people take it. I was like, "Oh, this is lovely," and I took it off and put it on, and I was like, "Oh, can I have this?" And I was just like, "Girl, I was completely joking." He was like, "No, you can have it." I was like, and then I felt bad because I was like, "No, girl, no, this is yours. You have this made." He was like, "No, girl, take it," and I was like,
like, bitches, I really do want this.
Right. I bet you one last time. But anyway, so what I had to do, I've never gotten my booty hole waxed. That's
not you. But she's just saying in Georgetown. I think I know who this is, and I've seen a picture. If I remember correctly, I think she's a boot black. I think.
Oh, this may be somebody that we know who also does waxing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think this is the. I think I've. But it'll come to me. But anyway.
Well, yeah. So anyway, so I got that key back, and then so I had the key, so I'm good now. Then you come to me, and I'm still high now.
Bitch,
and I was drinking.
You were having a discussion in the room because it was you that was either decompressing.
It was me and Bolt Bonnie.
Right, y'all were
having some hits,
but y'all were also having a conversation. Y'all were deep. Right, y'all were letting shit out. So when I knocked on the door and I was like, so listen, I just need to try to understand. I knew the bitch was going to be mad because at the end of the day, this was something that was our responsibility as far as the organization.
When I say our, mine, because the hour ain't on the room.
That's correct.
My name is on.
That's correct.
6 rooms at the ML Host Hotel.
One of which was the damn room that we in question. So I was like, okay, so let me figure out how I can bring this. So I was like, hey, so I need you to just give me a second to get it together, and I need you to also just listen to what I'm saying and hear me out.
Which automatically,
but bitch,
I was like,
it did.
What the fuck happened?
It did
because well, here's my thing. I don't like to be slow talk.
But listen,
and I know no shade to him, but when you have, this is what you should know. If you have bad news to share with me,
bitch, I was not get ready to walk in that room and tell you, bitch, you want to hook for $4,000. Bitch, it won't be me. You won't be singing on me, bitch.
I need you to just come straight out with it.
No.
Because if by just drawing it out, all I'm doing is having time to think about what it is. But if you just tell me what it is, anyway, go ahead.
Listen, bitch, fuck all that. Bitch, I am never coming to you and telling you, bitch, you want to hook for $4,000. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. And it wasn't even $4,000, it was $5,000. Bitch, I'm not doing that. Not me, not this one. Not this one. I'm not doing that. So I was breaking it to him the best way I know how. So I was like, listen, this is what's going on. This is what's going to happen. And he was just like, immediately, he was like going out the room like, boom. And Bolt was sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? And then I explained it to him. He was like, oh, shit. And I was like, well, here you go. This is where we are. So I tried to stay in the hallway as long as I could. And this bitch came back. And he was mad at the motherfucker. Waiting to be let into his room. Waiting. Yeah. But I digress. I'm getting off topic.
And it ended up, we never got charged for that.
Right.
Nothing ever happened.
Which is
the door handle. You know, it's like an electronic door. I mean, it ain't just like a regular. I could just.
But somehow
it was Saturday night, so I couldn't just like fucking run to Home Depot and get a matching door handle for $30 and replace it. It's the door handle to the suite. So I sort of jammed that shit back on, and then some bitch, you know, niggas always come up and say the wrong shit and want to test you at the wrong time. Some bitch, because I like kept the door open or did something, and some bitch was like, I'm closing the door. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
And I was just like,
and so once again,
you about to get mollywopped in this bitch.
You trying to manage the chaos as much as you can, but bitch, it was a lot of chaos. And then everybody has their own agenda, going in and out of room door. It's a lot. So as much fun as it is as much work as it is for.
But I look forward to it.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
absolutely.
And I was fine with that duty because listen, I get to book my room along with everybody else's room, and do all of the rooms. And here's the thing: all you girls gotta book your rooms through the link. I mean, yes, I booked my room through the link too, but when I need an extra room, I ain't got to call bitches. I ain't have to deal with the common people. I don't deal with the hotel.
Like, hey, listen, this is what I need.
Right. So we got more pledges than we thought we were going to have. Because this literally happened. Because before, when we thought we was going to have like 500 pledges, I was like, well, I 2 extra rooms. He was like, oh, I got you. Just get a hotel, these confirmation numbers, and tell them to put it in your name. And if they have a problem, talk to me. This is what happens when you're nice to people.
Yeah, and listen, it worked out, and everything was fine.
And the room ended up being fine.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I was like, I am about to fuck somebody up. Because here's the thing. I know that you didn't break the door.
Yeah, it was fucking brought to me. I'm around the corner having a conversation with my Krista Jay. We sitting there. Somebody says, "Hey, just wanted to give this to you," and I was like,
"Is this what the fucking door handle?" I was like, "What the fuck is that mean?" So here's what it is to me. Because if someone had broke the door and been like, "Oh shit, I broke the door," and at least found a member of Onyx and just been like, "Well,
this is what happened,"
I still would have probably been pissed, but I would have been that much less pissed because you did that, as opposed to somebody breaking the door and then just walking away.
Yep. So all I know is
because that's the bullshit.
That's the bullshit that I don't like.
The same niggas that do that is the same niggas that vomit in the fucking corner of the fucking suite.
Wait a minute. Don't say wait a minute.
Oh, was that you?
No, bitch. I didn't vomit in the corner in the suite, bitch.
Remember, wait a minute though. Y'all saw how specific he said, I did vomit.
I did not vomit
in the suite. So where did you vomit?
Nowhere in the hotel.
Okay. So we never found out how it. So the handle literally came off. So if the door had been closed, we wouldn't have been able to get back in the suite. But because I know a little bit about handyman and home
she built this whole basement.
I did not build this whole basement. I jammed that shit back on and palmed it on like my hammer. Palm was a hand, and then I pushed the door all the way open and put something in the door so that there was no need for people to open and close the door or whatever. And then, we sort of dealt with it. And then, when we checked out of the room, I was like, I told Papa, I was like, if we get a bill.
Yeah, we got to figure it out.
Well, we never got a bill. So I guess they were like,
all right, whatever.
Par for the course. Anyway, so where were we?
So anyway,
MAL's canceled.
Yeah, MAL's canceled.
But
2022.
So here's the thing. I know we're gonna have to cut some shit. Because we still gotta talk about Lovecraft.
No, bitch, we're gonna bring this shit back next week, honey. That's what we're doing. This is some bullshit.
Yeah. But so what happened this year was that, what happens every year is that MAL is Thursday to Monday.
Yes.
That Monday, rooms go on sale for the following year.
Yes.
They told you girls on Saturday that Saturday of MAL this year, I am a little butch.
I told you.
A little butch.
I told you.
A little butch.
She built this whole house, honey.
They told you girls on Saturday, everybody got the email. If you registered or whatever, you got the email that rooms was going to go on sale at noon on Monday. Girl, I told the pledges, let's pack this shit up. Let's get to the house.
Wait a minute, Tyra. It's actually not it's a swizzle stick. And I keep wanting to put this bitch in my mouth, but it's not. It's just a swizzle stick. So I can't.
Right. So they tell you the shit went on sale Monday at noon. Now, some of the girls was pinched because, like, some of our brothers from San Francisco, their asses was in the air at noon, so they didn't get it. Other girls was just like, oh, I'll go later. Again, at that time, I had just finished my 21st MAL.
Right.
So when they tell you the rooms go on sale, so bitch,
put that $250 or
I blocked. I said, all right, I said, let me set my alarm for 11:55 p.m. I had my computer up. I had the Onyx card and my card ready to go. And precisely at 12 noon, not 12:01, 12 noon. And so the first thing I tried to do was book 7 rooms at once. No. They don't let you book 7 rooms at once. No. It's like, all right, so I do just the old-fashioned way. So I booked 5 rooms, one after the other. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, confirmation, boom, confirmation, boom, confirmation, boom. And then switch cards, got my own card, because I have 2 rooms under my own personal reconnaissance. That's under my card, not the Onyx card. Books. I had 7 rooms by 12:10.
Yep.
Whole hotel sold out by 12:45.
Yep.
So what I'm telling you girls now, since there was not an MAL 2021, MAL 2022, by which time we will certainly have a vaccine and some processes and some other shit. MAL 2022 is going to be the kind of foolishness that you will not again soon see in your life.
Yes, God.
They have already told you that hotel rooms for MAL 2022 will go on sale at noon on January 23rd. Have your ass in front of your computer ready to go at 11:50. Make sure your internet connection is
That's right, Dominic Devereaux. 1 for us and 1 for our things. We don't sleep in our clothes. We don't sleep with our clothes.
There is no bigger. I mean, the only bigger hotel than the Hyatt.
You know what, Maximus? I am so tired. Hit me up after this damn show.
Well, first of all, they have a contract that goes to like 2025, so they couldn't move even if they wanted to. And every hotel, frankly, is not willing to have a bunch of homos, who fuck, in every square inch of the room. So let's be grateful.
And the Hyatt looks. Listen, one thing about the Hyatt, we come through that motherfucker, we storm through that bitch, but bitch, at the end of the day, every motherfucking service person and housekeeping and anything, bitch, they are tipped well.
Yes.
Now, listen, they are working for that coin, but they are tipped well.
Yes.
We know good and goddamn well that we do some shit. We tip well.
Yes. So, again, 12 p.m., which is noon, on January 23rd, have your shit together. And this is what I advised in the group.
Right.
Because they will take one room night.
Yes.
The rooms are all about the same price.
$250 or something like that. I don't know what it is.
If you don't have a credit card or whatever that you got the space on, get yourself a debit card, like a reloadable Visa or MasterCard. Start saving it now.
Tyra, I would love to see you at MAL. Yes. Come on through, Tyra.
Just have a card, put that money in on a card. Start saving it now. $50 put $50 a month aside.
That's because I wasn't partying, Sean. It ain't no party unless you step in some goddamn doo-doo. That's what it is.
Stepping in doo-doo? Who the fuck steps in doo-doo? In 21 years, I've never stepped in doo-doo.
I don't know.
But anyway, so my advice to you is if for whatever reason you don't have a ton of coins, you don't have a bank account where you can just keep $250 reserved.
Right.
Start planning now. Get yourself a reloadable Visa card.
Right.
And put $50 aside.
Okay, Sean, I'm sorry.
Every month. And so by January, reserve the room on that card.
Yes.
Don't use that card for nothing else.
That is your
Don't mix that money up
with
your regular bank account, with your rent money, your nothing.
Right.
That's all that card is for. So when they take that money out, you know it's done. Because here's the thing. What if you decide not to go? Well, girl, you will have absolutely no problem getting your $250 back.
Yes, indeed.
It will be like all you got to, because there's a group. First of all, if you know us, all you got to do is let us know. And then
we can always ask about it.
We know plenty of black people, plenty of Latin, plenty of Asian people who would give their fucking iTunes to get into the host hotel. So if you got a room that you can't get rid of, we got you. You ain't got to worry about that.
Right.
So get your shit together. Don't be fucking around, and don't be calling me, because here's what I will not do. During the week of MAL, I'm not coming down on the elevator to pick you up.
No.
And no, you cannot share a room with me.
Yeah.
So just so you know,
if you don't have your bars or your whatever to come up with, because I'm booked. When I go into the hotel, I'm booked.
Right, and
that's it.
Unless we go out to eat or something.
Yeah, I'm good.
We don't even leave the hotel for 4 fucking days.
Yeah, I'm good.
I check in on Thursday, and I don't check out that girl.
We go out for the dinner and
right.
Dinner,
other than that dinner on Sunday, I don't leave the fucking hotel for 4 days. Because what is it? When people are like, well, let's go out to dinner. I was like, there's a perfectly good restaurant right here. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's January 23rd, Michael. Coyote. If it changes, we'll let you know.
Right.
We're gonna have our shit together. We, as a family of Onyx and Onyx Mid-Atlantic in particular, we got our shit together. So all you need to do is have a credit card and your $250, because that's on you.
And listen, Coyote, you know the routine, bitch. This is your wheelhouse, bitch. You know the routine. You know how to work through this.
Right.
Listen, matter of fact, we might want to have a conversation with you.
Right. All right, so the Central Park birder who recorded a viral clash of white women has turned experience into a graphic novel. Y'all remember Christian Cooper and all that blah, blah, blah. Eccentric, I already just said we don't. Girl, I love you, and even if you offered me all of that sexy booty of yours, I'd be like, well, after we finish fucking, can you go back to your own room?
Well, Eccentric is kind of sexy. But
he's sexy as hell, but
I gotta think about that for a minute. Okay, I thought about it. No, you can't.
We'll talk offline. Okay,
yeah, we can talk about it.
Now, if you, as a member of Onyx, want to, this sounds weird, but if you want to work off your debt by being a suite monitor,
oh, absolutely, then that's an option.
Then that is 100% an option. You get access to your own room to store your stuff and the suite. 2 big ass bed. He's laughing. 2 big ass tubs and everything. We talked about white women pretending to be black last week. LaShawn. We talked about it last week. So this is proof that Sean don't watch the show. That's what this means. Mm-hmm.
Sean, yes, I'm judging you.
Mm-hmm. We are judging you. Mm-hmm. We talked about that last week, Sean.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
Extensively.
Judging.
The show airs every Wednesday from 8 to 9:30-ish.
And actually, last week we stayed on until it was like 10:30.
To like 10:15, 10:30.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Christian, who I don't fuck with because, he was trying to give white woman the benefit of the doubt or whatever and all this bullshit. But anyway, he's created a graphic novel called It's a Bird, follows the story of Jules, a black teenage bird watcher who was given an old pair of binoculars. When he looks through them, he sees the story of Amadou Diallo, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. It's a part of DC's first digital series, Represent, meant to highlight typically underrepresented groups in comics. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's so good to read.
Bully for him.
Yeah.
Now, I might accept getting my boots done as an apology. Did you see that motherfucking pair? Was it a pair of Stacey Adams, Sean, that you did? He took a pair of beat up ass pair of Stacey Adams or some just shoes.
No. Sean is good. Sean, listen.
And then remember that year in the gear show?
Yeah, Sean
blacked the shit that somebody was wearing.
Yeah, bitch, I put him on stage. Bitch, what are you talking about? Bitch, I got this. I got this. It was Maurice, as a matter of fact. No, I'm sorry.
Your elbow.
Bitch, what? My elbow ain't no fucking ass, you bitch. Bitch, get out of here with that bullshit. Yes, he was on stage. Sean's good. Sean has done my boots a couple times. Sean is really good. Mm-hmm. So listen, that boot that's extra. I'm just saying. I mean, it's fine. Cole Hans. Okay,
yes,
that's good.
Yes, the red, tan, brown Cole Hans.
Yeah, that's good.
He really did a job. Yeah, he rebuilt that whole fucking shoe.
Listen, Sean is amazing with that. I'm not taking anything. Listen.
Oh yeah, and this is a good time to mention that he is raising money to go to it's like a seminar or something that he wants to go. No, I'm not saying you would know about it. I'm just saying that he is raising money through a GoFundMe to attend like a training.
Okay. So Sean, do us a favor. Drop the link to that if there's a link to it in the chat, and that way.
Also, you can drop it in the chat for people to see, but then also message it to me. I know you did it to me. You sent it to me via text. But if you send it to me directly through DM on Facebook, that'll be easy for me to push it out and it'll be done before the morning. Okay. So he's trying to do a leather boot making residency.
Okay.
And is trying to raise, I think it was like $2,000 or something, but whatever the amount is. So we will make sure that the world sees that. Okay. Sean is a great.
No, Sean is Sean is good. It's very good. So.
All right, so next, Kirstie Alley says diversity rules are a disgrace to artists everywhere. So she came out and said some old bullshit. This is a fucking disgrace. How can you imagine telling Picasso who had to be in his fucking painting? She wrote in a single tweet, "You people have lost your minds. Control artists, control individual thought." Oscar Orwell. Then,
I saw where she was trying to go with this, but
the first tweet came off very carroty. Kirstie Alley has been this way for a while. She's been this right-wing Republican. But she's been this person for a minute.
She hokey pokey. She puts it right. She hokey pokey.
And then but this follow-up tweet, she turned herself around.
She turned herself around. Yeah,
not all the way, but
she said, "I deleted my first tweet about the new rules for the Best Movie Oscars because I feel it was a poor analogy and misrepresented my viewpoint. I'm 100% behind diversity, inclusion, and tolerance. I'm opposed to mandated arbitrary percentages related to hiring human beings in any business."
Now, women always say that shit when it's not to their benefit. But
so here's the thing, and here's why
the biggest beneficiary of affirmative action has been white women.
Here's the reason why she said it. She said the Academy announced earlier Tuesday that films vying for Best Picture nominations need to meet 2 of the 4 following standards: on screen, among the crew, at the studio, and in opportunities for training and advancement in other aspects of the film's development and release. We believe these inclusion standards will be a catalyst for long-lasting essential change in our industry. So this task force led by the Academy devised new standards which will go into effect in the 2024 Oscars. So basically they're saying that there needs to be some people of color involved in this film before it's even nominated for any sort of film or Oscar in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
so I get the attempt.
Right, and then she says she's opposed to mandated arbitrary percentages. Well, girl, they didn't had all this time to come up with some shit on their own, and it's never done. The history of this country is that change is never done because people do shit out of the goodness of their heart. It's only because they've been forced to do something by some sort of rule or regulation or law or people burning shit up or doing something.
That's how people get fucked up and arrested and everything else. So
right.
But speaking of arrested, and I'm gonna go back to Cardi for a second. Cardi actually had there's this thing on for YouTubers and people on the internet where they say that you're being doxxed. And so what happened was someone, hold on one second, I'm getting right to that article. Cardi said that hold on. Dead. Ear. She said, can I go past the article?
I don't see it.
Yes, I do. Hold on. Hold on.
Come on, dead air.
Hold on.
Dead air. A Trump supporting team tried to dox Cardi B, so she sent a private investigator to his house. Oh, okay.
There we go.
She's like, I'll fuck you up.
So Cardi is not here for the shits at all. She sent this person because when they doxed her, what happened was they put her name, her address, and her telephone number out there, and she was like, "Bitch, what the fuck? What is this all about?" So she sent. Where the fuck is the damn article? I don't went past it now. Go ahead and read that shit.
Well, I skipped past it. All right. So the point is that Cardi,
she's not here
don't fuck with Cardi B.
She wound up having the person. She hired a private investigator to see what the fuck was going on. That person showed up at their house and served a warrant, and it was a teenager that actually got arrested. And so this person's parents are probably like, "What the fuck?"
Yes. And you know what? I have no sympathy because
your baby's out there doing some shit he ain't got no business.
Hopefully this will teach him or her a lesson and won't
none whatsoever. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so the next one. Let's where were we? All right, so here's a story. Oh, gosh. So there's a whistleblower named Dawn Wooten who was employed at the Irvin County Detention Center in Georgia, which is operated by LaSalle Court Corrections, which is a private prison company. The complaint was filed with Office of Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security. She claimed that they were running what essentially amounted to an experimental concentration camp, and the complaint essentially said that there were mass hysterectomies being done at an ICE detention center for things ranging from women who were told that they had an ovarian cyst and they were going to have a small 20-minute procedure done to drill 3 small holes in her stomach to drain the cyst, who ended up having a hysterectomy, to another woman who was told that the procedure was done to mitigate her heavy menstrual bleeding. So again,
this is not the first time that the federal government has allegedly.
When I saw this, I feel I want to cry because this is just such a violation.
It is.
That these people just came here to seek a better life.
Yep.
Just like every Italian grandmother did. Just like every Russian immigrant did, just like every French immigrant did.
Yep. And
these people have had their children taken from them,
their dignity,
and they've had the children that they already had taken from them, and now their ability to have more children has been stolen from them without their consent.
And like
because these women don't speak English. I mean, I imagine some of them probably speak okay English, but I don't think it's a stretch to say that most of these women probably don't speak good English.
Very good English.
So their ability to have consented to such a procedure, even if they did speak 100% good English, I can't imagine that all of these women was like, yeah, just take my uterus and my ovaries. And that there are going to be a ton of people who's like, hell yeah, they shouldn't have been in this country illegally. This is the kind of shit that we use to go to war with other countries.
This is
for doing. Like
this is
the kind of shit.
The Holocaust shit.
This is the Holocaust. I mean, what else do we have? I mean, what's next? I mean, literally just gassing niggas in the fucking, in a gas chamber. Is it literally just putting them in racks on racks on racks and let them starve to death, and then when they're barely on the edge of starvation, just putting them in a fucking gas chamber and turning the gas up?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, and these same motherfuckers, these Michelle Bachmans that's got the nerd that talks about, black transgender anarchists was on a fucking Christian channel, would probably support this. And Sean is right. There's an interesting conversation about how they didn't do any vasectomies. Not that would make it any better.
Right.
But again, it's about women's autonomy. These are the same people that said, women do not have the right to choose. They do not have autonomy over their own fucking body.
Yep.
These same people that call themselves Christian, do you really think that Jesus would be in favor?
Got a story about that as well, but come on.
It just fucking floors me. So that's why when people are like, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and blah, 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 blah. They may be a lot of things, but I just believe in my heart that this is not something that would happen in a Biden-Harris administration.
Yeah.
I just have to believe that Kamala Harris would not allow, that a woman would not allow other women to have involuntary hysterectomies under her watch. I'm not saying
that a woman would allow.
I'm saying under that administration, she would not allow it.
Yes,
and if something, because people do crazy shit. When it was discovered,
she would be.
You could have some guarantee that there would be repercussions for doing it. There's going to be almost no repercussions for doing this.
Well, first of all, they can't even match up half the damn people with their damn kids, so they don't know where the hell their kids are. That's another story. Then on top of that, you get these mothers back that have already been traumatized. So
right, and you imagine being a 3-year-old. You already survived a fucked up ass journey over the desert, snakes and spiders and shit, and it's hot and it's cold and all sorts of foolishness. Your ass coming from Guatemala, wherever the fuck you coming from, and you get here and they take you. You're 3 fucking years old, and they separate you from your mom.
Yeah,
and then maybe you get them back after 2 years. First of all, there's no guarantee that the people that you were with were screened in any sort of way to be able to treat you better, or that they sought mental health services to help you adjust, or made sure that you stayed in touch with your mother by sending letters to the detention center or doing anything. That child is fucked up for life. And fucked up is the wrong word.
Well,
but will probably have separation anxieties. And think about how that affects a generational psyche. To have thousands of kids. Let's talk about men. Men already don't know how to fuck with women, but now you got a boy who was separated from his mother, so now has separation anxiety and doesn't know how to form decent attachments with other people. And now his grown ass is out here reliving all of that trauma on every woman that he meets.
Because he thinks that's all that he knows.
That's all that he knows. He doesn't know how to. He doesn't have, because his mother's also fucked up because she had a forced hysterectomy.
Yep.
So even if they do get back together, they are both fucked up for the rest of their life. And then whether they go back to Mexico or they stay here, that is generational trauma that we caused.
Yep. It's a lot.
So this is why, bringing it all back to voting. This is why I am voting with a clear conscience for, I'll say Barack Obama, for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with zero reservation. Even knowing allegedly some of the shit that Kamala did when she was Attorney General or whatever, or the shit that Joe Biden said, even knowing that, knowing what we know, what we have lived through for the past 4 years, there is no other option.
Right. All right, people. Sorry. Here's what I'm going to do. When we talked about, what would Jesus do? What was Christ do?
Okay, we got a lot of. Listen, when I get excited,
I like.
And we know when he get excited too. I mean, he's not excited about the ash, but
the lies that you tell. There's not 1 inch of ash on his body. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Howsoever, when we talk about that whole thing of what would Jesus do, there was a Christian principle that expelled a gay student that says Jesus would want him to do it. The principal of a Christian school in Dallas, Texas, allegedly told the mother that he expelled her gay son because it was what Jesus would want me to do. Now, the student, David Bryant, 17, had attended this Covenant Christian Academy in Dallas since pre-kindergarten, but was told by the school's new headmaster that he wouldn't be allowed to attend for senior year after coming out as gay. The decision came despite Bryant having been open about his sexuality since October last year, a decision that led to no repercussions, with teachers complimenting his mother on bringing up such a nice guy. Bryant even said that during the call after Jeffrey confirmed that her son would not be returning to senior year, she asked, "Are you a Christian? Jesus would not do what you're doing." He allegedly responded, "I'm doing what Jesus would want me to do," before thanking Bryant for her almost 20-year affiliation with the school and offering parent counseling.
Now, I don't need counseling.
Yeah, so the controversy, but here's where it got interesting for me. The controversy seemingly erupted after Bryant, the student, shared his design for decorating his senior parking spot, which included the text, "Super hot, fun, attractive, fast driving, insane, very smart, outgoing, party freak, young gay, as in happy, don't worry, laugh out loud, pretty, reckless, humble, pyromaniac, fun, gay, as in homosexual this time, sorry, person parking only." Now, the school administrator shut down the plan, telling Consolata Bryant that it would be rejected and the word gay should not be mentioned. 2 days later, he was expelled from school. So what you're saying is you want this man to be quiet. You want him to be gay in silence. That's what you're saying.
That's what he wanted. And I also would have been like, so I'll get my money back?
In any event,
that would have been my first thing.
The child was expelled. He's going to a public school, and he is a great student, and he's trying to get into UCLA. I wish this young man luck.
The best of luck.
This young POC has now already started down the path.
Is he a person of color?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
You saw the picture?
Yes.
He's black?
Yes.
Yeah. From
he started down the path
when we mean black, let's just say black.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
Because we tried that person of color shit for a while. That whole solidarity with other. And I'm no shade against any individual, Native Americans, Latinos, Asians, whatever. But the girls is quick to throw us under the bus when it serves it too. So when I say black, when we want to say black, we're gonna say black, not person.
That's what we're gonna do. He was black. So
right.
Speaking of another black person, Tyler Perry is officially a billionaire.
Good for him, because I've had strong feelings about that.
Well, he's officially a billionaire. He has $320 for his entire library of movies. $300 million in cash and investment, $280 million for Tyler Perry Studios, $60 million for his equity stake in BET Plus, $40 million in homes. That all adds up to a cool billion. So
right, the girls like him, and they like him, and they love him, and especially in this time of whatever, girl, if it makes you happy or whatever, is it all Oscar worthy? No, girl.
Oh,
that's
a whole
fine.
Conversation.
But okay,
yeah,
fine. Hey, listen, the number. I'm black people.
I am absolutely
that he employs or whatever. I'm
absolutely here for it. Here's something else that I'm here for too. So all these, the ballroom, the House of Exclusive Lanvin joins its fashion namesake for a legendary project. Most of you may know some of the houses that are in ballrooms are families, and they're named after designers or after lines to showcase their house or their family. Well, they generally don't have any affiliation with that actual house. So the house of Moschino Moschino doesn't have any affiliation with them. The house of Balenciaga doesn't have an affiliation with that particular designer. However, the House of Exclusive Lanvin has done a project with them, and it's a short film consisting of about 25 of the house's most notable figures, including the founders, stars, statements, and legends of the house. And it's a very good article that's listed in Vogue. I want you to check it out because it has lots of pictures, and these pictures are of a lot of people that are in the ballroom scene, and it talks about the houses themselves and how they actually merged and how they were sister houses and then they merged together to become Lanvin. A lot of people in there from Philly. Shout out to Michi Karan. These are all people that I kind of grew up with and kind of knew and saw them out on the scene. So listen, y'all bitches is in Vogue. I am not mad at y'all. Now I have a conversation with y'all about them wigs. Howsoever, that's a whole other story.
Vogue Korea. Remember the shade? And he was like, I've been on the cover of Vogue, and whoever the house mother, Erica was like, Vogue Korea.
Mm-hmm. So
this is actually American Vogue, but
yes, American Vogue magazine.
But that was just the shade from the show Legendary. It's like Vogue Korea. Oh, let's just mention also that where was I? Oh, Will Smith sat down with the Fresh Prince cast, and separately he sat down with the original and Viv for a conversation, and apparently the conversation went decently or whatever.
I call shenanigans because Viv has a lot. She
listen. I'm the kind of person that's like, bitch, what you cross the line? Because this was more. I mean,
this was 30 years. This is a 30-year reunion.
But I'm saying the kind of shit that Daphne. It was not. No, that's light skin.
Janet Hubert.
Janet Hubert. The kind of shit that Janet Hubert said about Will and Jada. That's not some shit you could easily take back. I mean, she basically all but called them both homosexuals, which, I mean, you can take that, you decide to be offended or not be offended by that. But it was just a level of vitriol, and I'm not saying she was wrong. I'm just saying that, for me.
Right, it was right from being homeless.
Right. For me, if I was Will Smith, I'd be like, oh, talk to that bitch. Fuck.
I mean,
I actually want to. I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Yes, it's supposed to air around Thanksgiving for the special.
Yeah,
so I'll be on the lookout for that. It's going to air on HBO Max as well. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so we'll see. All right.
Regina King made history at the Venice
first
Film
Black
Festival.
Female director, so that's good for her.
The film that she did sounds really interesting. It's based on Kent Power's stage play of the namesake. It's the name of the play is actually called One Night in Miami. And it's a fictional take on a true event that occurred February 25th, 1964, when Cassius Clay, who many of you may know as Muhammad Ali, beat boxing world champ.
His mama named him Clay.
Well, Muhammad Ali beat boxing world champ Sonny Liston at the Miami Convention Center. He later spent the evening celebrating with his three good friends, NFL star Jim Brown, singer Sam Cooke, and a Nation of Islam leader Malcolm X. And these are going to be played by...
That's going to be a hot conversation.
Yes, these are going to be played by Aldous Hodge, who plays Malcolm X. I'm sorry, Kingsley Ben-Adir, who plays Malcolm X, Aldous Hodge, who plays Jim Brown, Ellie Gore, who plays boxer Cassius Clay, and Leslie Odom Jr., who plays Sam Cooke. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting. I want to see how that comes out. I want to see what it's all about. So I'm looking forward to that. So congratulations, Regina, on that, because it's gotten rave reviews at the film festival in Venice. So
there's this movie called Noughts and Crosses. It's a young adult art history drama that asks what if Africa colonized Europe. That, I mean, we don't need to, I mean, that's the whole fucking plot.
Right.
So, that's going to be airing on BBC One. Well, it aired on BBC One earlier this year, but on NBC's streaming service, the Peacock, it's going to be airing later in the year. So I feel like I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see it. I kind of did there's the books by it, but I'm not really into young adult.
I kind of want to see it. Well, maybe I'll do audio book.
I
have some credits for that.
I got a ton of credits, but I just don't. I mean,
I'm an adult.
I don't really give a shit, So, but all right. So
American Horror Story and Jackass star Stevie Lee passed away at 54. I don't know if you all remember him. He was actually is he, am I correct in saying little person?
Yeah.
Okay. He was a little person on Jackass that you might remember as well, but he was also in American Horror Story. He died. And so our condolences to the family. Lady Gaga is possibly up for a part in a Marvel movie. She, after getting her Oscar in A Star is Born, she has been asked to play Patrizia Reggiani, the ex-wife of Maurizio Gucci, the grandson of the founder of the brand Gucci. Reggiani was convicted of arranging her husband's assassination on the steps of the Gucci offices in 1995. But again, other people wanted her in a piece of Mother Monster as well. We got this covered. Another site is reporting that Marvel Studios is hoping that she'll join the Marvel comic universe. According to the publication sources, they're trying to get her to be Emma Frost. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't necessarily know if I'm anti it, but I feel like visually she would be everything. Mm-hmm. But we'll see how that goes.
All right, so let's talk about RuPaul Drag Race, then Jonathan Majors, and then
Simone.
Yes. All right. So, another thing that was outrageous. So, do y'all remember
So her name is Caster Semenya.
Semenya, yes. So Caster Semenya is the South African I think she's a middle distance runner who
genetically
she has an internal testy, and she has a Y chromosome, which the internal testy produces more testosterone than most women typically produce.
That is correct.
So she has, she had to protest and whatever. And so now the governing body of her sport has said that she can't compete unless she has some sort of a medical intervention to decrease her level of testosterone, because that gives her an unfair advantage.
Now, again,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, again, there was a woman who said, as clear,
a Russian judge, a Russian athlete who was one of her competitors.
Mm-hmm. They said they didn't start questioning her gender until she started winning the 800-meter race in international competitions. And after her win in 2009 World Championship, Maria Sadanova, a Russian who also ran the race, speculated Russian journalists that Semenya would fail a sex determination test.
So here's the thing. So first of all, Simone Biles came out in support of her because, she's faced, criticism about, her physique and all kinds of stuff.
And like she said, once again, men having control over women's bodies.
Men having control over women's bodies. Let's contrast Caster Semenya's physique with Michael Phelps.
Right.
So Michael Phelps has, first of all, he has an incredibly long arm.
Yes, his arm span is probably longer than most people's legs.
Right, which makes it easier for him to, slide through the water. Something about his body chemistry also allows him to process nutrients differently, so he can hold his breath longer underwater than most people, even most other swimmers in his class and everything. Mm-hmm. But there's never any conversation about him having an unfair advantage. He is not being asked to take any hormone suppressants or whatever to make him less whatever. These are things that Caster was born with. And to suggest that she doesn't win every race.
Right.
So it's not like racing in, the 100-meter dash against the Flash, where without fail, every time the Flash is going to win because he's a superhero.
Right.
Caster Semenya is not a superheroine. She is a woman who has certain things about her body chemistry that gives her, in some races, an advantage, but not always. So what that proves is that the person that won the 100-meter dash in 1934 is the slowest person in the 100-meter dash now, the bar is constantly being moved by someone who has some sort of a superior whatever about their body that allows them to do something that keeps moving that bar.
Yep.
Michael Jordan has an extraordinary physique. LeBron James, these people all have extraordinary physiques along with training that makes them better. But do they always win? No. And again, it's about women, people trying to control women's bodies.
Yep.
So, that's some bullshit.
It is.
So,
What you were saying, John Boyega?
Oh, John Boyega was the brand ambassador for. Listen,
it was right after that story.
Well, it's just so many things here. All right, so Joe Malone, he was a Joe Malone ambassador until he found out that. So he had, whatever the fuck Joe Malone is, it's like a lifestyle
brand,
perfume brand or whatever.
And okay, go ahead.
So he did an ad,
and the commercial was
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they had a Chinese person essentially recreate the same ad for the Chinese market, which wasn't. It wasn't that they had a Chinese star create an ad for the Chinese market. It was that the Chinese person essentially recreated the exact same ad.
And took him out.
And took him out of it. And when I say it was almost a shot, because I looked at both of them, it was almost a shot for shot. It was almost a shot for shot remake of the ad that John Boyega did to appeal. Because, this is one of the reasons why when Disciple was like, yeah, we should go to China. I was like, not really.
No, man.
Because I was
I've heard too many stories.
I mean,
too many stories.
And I can't find a whole fucking country.
Yeah, my mouth is just not, I just can't.
Right.
Like when they want to touch your hair and they want to touch your skin, and I'm like,
I've seen videos where, like, there's like a whole subculture of YouTube videos of, it's mostly Africans.
Okay.
Who go to China to study or whatever. And, them girls will it won't just be like, I'm across the room taking a picture. Them girls will block your fucking path and take your picture. And if you try to push past them or whatever, they'll be like, I said stop. They don't treat, they has a real problem with anti-blackness. And girl, I can't find a whole country.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't trust that, I can't even trust that this fucking government is going to even try to come get me if some shit went down.
It's never been on my list of places I want to go.
It is. I mean, I love the architecture. I mean, I would love to go.
Good for you.
I feel like I would go with a group of people, but I certainly wouldn't just be like me and one other dude.
Good for you.
Anyway, so Jonathan Majors, who is the star of Lovecraft Country, is joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he's landed a major role in the next Ant-Man. So, I mean, that really is.
He's going to be the supervillain Kang or whatever.
Yeah. And so before we get to talking about Lovecraft, because we do have to wrap it up eventually.
Wait, but I just want to mention this. Swiss Beats, you're a bitch.
Yes.
You're a bitch.
Tell us why Swiss Beats is a bitch.
Listen, Swiss Switch bitch decided that, when him and Timberland got together, and listen, I'm saying all this because I am a Janet fan. Yes. So all I'm saying is that
the Janetalia was pissed off.
Listen, this Janetic right here was pissed off about that. But
I don't even see Janet versus.
Well, let me put this out there first, and then because I totally see somewhat, but I just didn't like the way it was presented. Swiss Beats and Timberland are the two forces or two people behind the versus thing. So all the Brandy versus whatever.
We got to talk about versus.
Yes, they're behind it. And so what happened was Missy Elliott fans have been championed for her to be as a perfect musical legend, to make the most out of social media out of this series. And so while discussing viable opponents for Elliott, Timberland and Swiss Beats made it clear. While discussing viable opponents for Elliott with versus co-creator Timberland, Swiss made it clear that Jackson simply wasn't versatile enough to go toe to toe with her. He says Missy can be multiple people. Janet just going to be Janet. Swiss said, noting that Jackson might not have enough of a catalog if the two compared it.
What?
Not surprisingly, diehard Jackson fans took issue with the
You don't even be a diehard Jackson fan with that.
And one of the fans said, Swiss Cheese Beats needs to stop discrediting Janet Jackson. This is the second time he's tried to discredit her on Instagram Live. He needs to stop discrediting Janet and focus on his family and other child with that UK British singer. Y'all not thinking to disrespect Janet. Now, this is a revised article, but the actual article, the first article that I read when it came out, he was real ignorant about it. He was like, nah, she just can't do it. She don't have the catalog. She just can't do it.
Now, if he had said that that's not the right matchup of artists,
that I agree with. But he said,
because I don't see Janet Jackson versus Missy Elliott because they're not in the same lane.
They're not in the same lane, and I agree with him that Missy can switch up a little bit. But for the most part,
she can switch it up a little bit.
But for the most part, they're not in the same lane. No, they're not. And so he rebutted and said, let's be clear. He wrote in the Shade Room's comment section, I don't think Missy and Janet is a good matchup at all. Much love to Janet. She's icon, but I just didn't feel that was a good matchup. Janet got hits on his, but she should have a better person to celebrate with that. She's a better person to celebrate with. That's all blessings. But bitch, that's not what you said the first time.
That's not how you said it.
You took it back. You took that Karen route and came back and listen. Janet doesn't have the what, Sean? Don't get cut off.
No. I think he was agreeing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm sorry.
Right, and so I'm just like, when I saw this, I was like,
go sit down. Go sit down.
What the fuck are you saying?
But shout out to the Versus legends.
Yes.
Patty and Gladys Knight.
Yes.
Baby.
It gave me everything.
Gave me everything I need. Because listen, Gladys Knight, I was never really a fan of hers.
I loved her music. To it, and first of all,
but her voice.
And listen. Oh my God. Listen, Gladys performed like
live.
Like she was still on her Vegas residency, and her voice was impeccable. Not the fact that the Patty's wasn't, but Patty, and by her own admission, don't remember all of the words. Now listen,
Patty don't remember the words.
I fucking love me some Patti LaBelle.
I do too.
Don't get me wrong.
One of my favorite songs by her, Music Is My Life, is one of my all-time favorite songs by her, and I absolutely love it.
And I'm not even going to say one was better or whatever, but I definitely feel like,
and that's just facts, Louboutin.
And
she looks up to her.
Like Gladys, I didn't know that their friendship was that deep.
Listen, those two good girlfriends, I appreciate that they are just girls. Yes,
and it was not. There was no animosity. It was like, well, I'm going to play this song to try to one up the song that you just did. It was just like,
and Patty was just being Patty. Even when she had them shoes up on the side and she changed her motherfucking Louboutins on the motherfucking camera. I said, come on, Patty, right. Diva bitch.
So yeah, and then when motherfucking Dionne Warwick came out
Dionne Hipbone Warwick showed up,
with that cigarette ass voice,
she had just got up off the bar stool down at the Black Beauty. And like, so, how's
everybody doing?
Yeah. And so,
let's just be clear.
Dionne and Patty didn't get along.
I know.
But
Patty's a what? A motherfucking professional.
Yes, she is. She kept it together. She sang her songs.
And not only that, let's keep our disrespect of Miss Dionne Warwick cute.
Yes,
Miss Dionne Warwick has like 30.
So listen.
30.
That is the only thing I can say about Miss Dionne Warwick. I always joked about her because I feel like her teeth are they were the perfect hip bone. But listen, and I say that with the utmost respect because she can sing a tune now better than I can, even with her. Right. I ain't even got
so y'all,
she's listen.
You can keep it. You can. Be
but she is a fucking legend.
She is
Dionne Warwick.
Even before Patty and
she was that girl.
I mean, Patty and Gladys. I mean, Dionne was that girl.
She was that girl
from the late 50s on. So
and half the shit that some of these girls are singing are Dionne Warwick songs. So let's be clear.
Right. So let's keep the disrespect of Dionne Warwick real cute and keep it in perspective. That is, like haha cute, but let's respect where she came from. So last thing before Lovecraft is they announced the cast for All Stars 6. I still haven't watched Drag Race All Stars, Vegas, and I'm not going to.
I haven't finished. I haven't caught up on it. But so here's the thing: All Star 6. This is speculation. It's been confirmed, but it's we're still. So I want to be clear that this is coming from a RuPaul's Drag Race fandom website. So for this season 6 All Stars, you have Akira Chanel Davenport, who was, well, you know what season. If you're a fan, you'll know what season they're from. But Ginger Minj, Jan, Jiggly Caliente, Pandora Box, Raja O'Hara, Scarlet Envy.
Serena
I don't even
Cha-Cha?
know.
Who the fuck is Serena
Yeah,
Cha-Cha?
I don't know if Serena Cha-Cha. I don't know who that one is.
Who that is at
but
all.
it's supposedly Silky, Sonique, Trinity, and Yara Sophia. So Serena Cha-Cha was season 5. I don't know who she is.
Yeah, that name does not sound familiar.
If she was one season 5, I don't even remember that name at all. But anyway, so again, these are some of the people.
I'm not even seeing Jan.
Jan is up there.
I see it. I don't see her.
I'm sorry.
I didn't see
her for even in the season anyway.
Yeah, I didn't see it for her.
But anyway, so we now that we mentioned that, but what else were you? I'm sorry. What were you going to mention? I'm sorry.
The only other thing that I have left is Lovecraft. So, spoiler alert. So this I love some shit with levels. So first we got what's her name? Rose?
The sister?
Mm-hmm.
Ruby.
With the white dude. The white dude gives her this potion, says all your dreams can come true. So the dream is to live as a white woman. And she turned it. So she went and got it. And it's still a testament to what the options of women were in the mid-50s that, she went in and, look at the shit that you look at her resume that she had, and what she thought she could be was just like a counter girl, just like the black girl. Mm-hmm. And they made her an assistant manager. But the tea is that she had to keep drinking the potion or else, because that whiteness was just a skin that she put on, and how she had to peel out of that skin. Yeah. Let's deal with that story all the way. So come to find out, so she's having conversations with the white woman about how, what is like, who are you uninterrupted? And some all this other bullshit. Come to find out that the white guy was actually the white woman who was also taking the same potion, essentially. So it was
when the sister did
very
I be bright eccentric.
It was an interesting commentary on how white women always want black women to claim sisterhood when it's something to their advantage, but they never want to be, or that solidarity isn't backwards compatible. That is correct. They want black people to be in solidarity, or black women to be in solidarity with their fight against white men, but white women will never back black women in their fight against all of the myriad things that she did. And it was also an interesting commentary on how, as a white woman, because the dude said when the dude was like, because he had given her the potion, and he said, you can take this potion, left her like a whole stack of cash.
Right.
And he was like, you go out and do whatever you want. So she became this white woman. She went and she bought a paper, she had food, she had ice cream, she did all of that. And when she got back home and, got out of that skin, he was like, you didn't have any money? He was like, being white was all I needed. So being a white woman, now if she had been a black woman, first of all, they probably wouldn't even serve her the ice cream, let alone gotten that shit for free and all of this other stuff. So, that was super interesting. The other main story was, Tick.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to the other part, but okay.
Well, we're getting to it.
All right.
So they find out that Tick understands when Montrose is like she's gone, that old boy, his father, killed that person.
Yes,
to kill them, because I don't know that person fully identified as, they were two spirits.
Right,
so
right.
We'll
say them. Spirit,
we'll say them.
Which is supposedly.
two spirit is a thing, a Native American culture.
It's a Native American culture, and for whatever reason, I want to say it's Gemini something, but that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing, but there are people to this day who identify. I mean, we might call them trans, but they have going back centuries of two spirit people who were powerful people in their communities, and it was only under the influence of Western culture like so many other cultures in this country and in Africa and wherever, that anything less than cisgender became a problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when he understood that he beat his father ass, he beat him down. And like the dudes trying to hold him back, that big muscular dude was about to whoop all of their ass. Anyway, so him and Letty fucked. You know, that was hot.
It was.
It was. It was a hot scene.
I was like, oh my God, am I going to get back
so
in the
can I? No, it's not. It wasn't.
I mean,
hot.
it was hot to look at. I was like,
I will say that in the beginning of the show, I did not find Jonathan Majors attractive.
I still don't.
However, he has grown on me to a point where he has grown on me.
Okay, well, listen, I respect your decision and your choices. I just want you to know that, listen, when you meet up with him, your husband or your boyfriend or whatever you want to call him at that particular, your plaything for it is 210% safe with me.
Yes. And then...
but I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Oh, sure he is. After getting beat up by his own child, he goes and to see old boy, who is the proprietor of the bar that in the first scene of the first episode, we saw getting his dick sucked in the back by another dude.
Yes.
And so they fuck. And so Montrose fucks him, but he spits the biggest gob of spit into his hand. And I was just like, God.
And when I say he served that man,
and then he sucked him off, which I was like, okay.
But he wouldn't kiss him.
You wouldn't kiss him.
He wouldn't kiss him.
He wouldn't kiss him. And then, so later,
shout out to Shangela.
And
Monet
Exchange.
That was Monet Exchange. And Daryl Steffens.
Who was Daryl?
Noah.
Which one was Daryl?
In the Robe, the one with the big horse face. That was Daryl Steffens. You know Daryl Steffens.
I gotta watch
In the Robe, in the blue robe. That was Daryl Steffens.
I gotta watch it again.
Yes.
But anyway, so apparently the proprietor is also a drag queen.
Yes.
And they were getting ready for a show.
Pageant.
And a pageant. Because and Montrose was sitting there, you know, they were trying to fix his face up or whatever. So then he goes with them to the pageant and he just sees all of these people just like living their life.
He had a cute shirt on. That red shirt was cute. I would rock it.
And I think at some point he just had this revelation that, you know, this person has been in my corner.
Yep.
Has always been in my corner. So he pulls, I don't know what that dude's name is.
I can't think of his name.
Pulls him into an embrace and they kiss.
Yep.
And that was beautiful. So,
it was very beautiful.
So I thought there were a lot of really good themes here about racism.
Yes.
About sexuality.
Yes.
About feminism and the role of skin privilege.
Yes,
and also, there was also that interesting thing, I mean, about Black people literally putting on white skin.
Yes. Which now people are saying, like, you're compartmentalizing or you're code switching, I should say.
Yeah. And, you know, the way that you act around your Black friends or
versus
whatever
when you
is
white friends or
different than how you interact. And so I'm loving this show, and
it's amazing. I just hope that
really is.
I wasn't a fan of last week's episode. I was kind of like, that's it, that's all. But this week kind of I got it back from me. Last week was kind of like, I was like, that's it. Like I'm like, what? But I'm okay with that. But this week was good. So I'm looking forward to next week.
What do you think is going to? Well, next week he goes. We find out what happened to him while he was in Korea.
Yes. So I feel like I'm not going to like that because I feel like it's going to be take me back.
I feel like whatever that girl was, he was involved in some sort of a massacre or something. What we would now call a war crime. Back then they would just call it, you know, dealing with the enemy. But nowadays we would probably call whatever happened a war crime, and he's still haunted. And now that we know like magic and demons and shit exist, he's probably actually being haunted by what happened.
Could be. And then also she could be connected to this as well. So
yeah, because I mean, magic clearly can't just be exclusive to crazy white people trying to bring back Adam or some shit.
So Eccentric brought up a good point. It explains why he killed the two-spirit siren, also self-hate.
Oh yeah, definitely, because he might have saw something.
There's a part of that is it could be self-hate, but then part of it could be, again, he's holding back information. Like, he's the keeper of a lot of information. We don't know what that is, but
because he read that book.
Yes,
that George's rule book, so he knows.
Michael Killer at the beginning. Who are you talking about? Michael Killer.
Michael, I think, is the white guy, the blonde.
I don't remember if he killed somebody at the beginning. I don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
No, what's also interesting is the guy in the closet being held by the sheriff.
Oh yeah, who was also dead apparently, but he was being haunted.
Right. But then
they were keeping him alive because the sheriff was like, well, you can do anything to anybody when they're dead already.
Right. And then the other part was his body. I'm not sure if he was scarred, he was tattooed, he was black.
They cut him up in order, whatever they'd done was what they were doing to. He was essentially a zombie.
Like a zombie or like a voodoo doll type of situation?
Like reanimated or whatever.
Right. So I don't know. But the Luby, I'm not sure who Michael killed and what that was. I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this, and I love the parallels that, not only is there actual magic, but the true monsters, are, are white people and racism and systemic abuse. Because remember when Ruby was the white girl, that little black boy was like, "Are you okay, ma'am?" And then the police rolled up at that time. They was like,
"No, he's
about to beat the shit out of that little boy."
Like, oh my god. Listen. Have vinyl on the floor with a giant knife.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
That was the white woman when she first woke up and she left out the house and she came back. He killed her to let her out of that body.
He didn't kill her.
Well, he didn't kill her. He
had to cut her
to open the skin. So that's
the skin out of that, because she didn't know. Later on, she was able, because she knew what was going on. Right. She was able to get out of that. But that first time, yes, it looked like he killed her, but he wasn't actually killing her. Right. He was actually cutting that white skin open in order to allow her to come out. Yeah, that's who that was. That's what it was. Right. I want to also mention this, and I forgot this is minor. Yeah, Sade, and she has a 6-album vinyl set that's supposed to be coming out in October. Mm-hmm. So when we did the versus Anita versus Sade, I just want y'all to know this 6-album set is going to have Diamond Life, Promise, Stronger Than Pride, Love Deluxe, Lovers Rock, and Soldier of Love all on this album. It was all done from high-resolution digital transfers. It was done at half speed, so the albums benefit from the advantage of extra clarity. So put that on your list, because it's probably going to be on mine. In fact, y'all can put that on my list. If y'all want to send it to me, that's fine, but I'm going to have to go ahead and get that myself, because I like to use the most wonderful time of the year. Right, it is going to be the most wonderful time of the year. So, but really quickly, we're going to close out shortly, but let's get some of this contact information up here first so that we can get to you guys and close out afterwards. But check out our contact information, and we'll come right back. And I was thinking about the organization. I was like, how trying to put it together? I was like, what? No, I think just as you read it, just put a summary paragraph, not the whole.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. Like, let me just put the link and just talk about the paragraph. Like, this is what it is. But then I don't want to take anything away from the article. But I was like,
You don't have to. I mean, it's still up to each of us to read the article.
That's true. So
just do like a paragraph summary.
Hey, welcome back. So
we're so glad that you all joined us and that you all stuck with us for a full 2 hours and 23 minutes. I mean, we want to have a little bit of discipline about the show. I mean, you just can't talk forever.
Go on. Go on. We're going to take it off air to talk about this, but go on.
We want to thank you all for joining us today. And next week, we're going to talk more about Lovecraft and, all of the shit that's happening in the world. We want to encourage you all, and wherever it is that you live, to get out and vote. They're going to try to pull all kinds of shenanigans and foolishness and fuckery. So, a lot of places have early voting.
I do.
Get your ass out there and do your early voting so you don't have to wait until November
Michael,
3rd.
we did mention that. It was Shangela, Monet Exchange, and then also Daryl Stephens or Noah from Noah's Ark. We mentioned that. What are you talking about? Did you listen, Michael?
She better be glad she's pretty. Oh
put that brownie down. Matter of fact, send me one. Put the brownies down.
Right. So we want to encourage you all to get out and vote. The one thing I'm looking forward to, Sean, is hearing back from one of these jobs that I have applied to and officially being able to announce that, I's employed now.
Yeah.
I said I's employed now. Yes, eccentric, and do your census. So many things, they don't teach you this in civics anymore, but so many things about the way money is allocated has to do with your response
to the
census.
Yeah.
The census is a critically important thing that happens only once every 10 years.
Yes.
Fill that out, do it online, do whatever it is you need to do, but complete the census. Make sure you're registered to vote. Facebook has a thing right there on the front page.
Yeah.
As soon as you log in, where it'll take you to, we just tell them what jurisdiction you live in, and it doesn't record that information. You tell them what state you live in. It'll take you to that registrar, that voter registration, and you can confirm that you're registered. Do that. Please vote.
Absolutely.
And more than that, I'm telling you, we are voting for the Harris-Biden ticket.
I mean, you ain't got to tell everybody on that shit. I mean, I'm proud to mention my shit. I'm not political.
Girl, is there anything else you want to say?
Damn that shit.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Thank y'all for spending your time with us. You didn't have to spend so much time with us, but we absolutely appreciate you all for spending time with us. I want you all to stay safe. We are still in a pandemic, although some people are acting like we are not, but we are still in a pandemic. Be safe. And we, again, appreciate you guys for spending your Wednesday evenings with us. And I know we ran over, but we just have such a good time talking to y'all. So it's good to see y'all, and we appreciate y'all. So for this episode, we're going to say thank y'all for coming out, and have a good night.
Don't you worry, they're going to hire you at the Marshall Peoples. I hear they take colors now. Go to hell, eccentric.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. Mwah.